So the world can hear us now.
Oh no!
It's like I know these two are
Now they're
usually
gonna
pretty
hear my
good.
voice.
What would you like us to call you, Lucida? Is that
You
preference?
can call me Lucy. You can call me Lucida. I don't really care.
Lucy's probably easy. I can go Lucy.
Lucy's probably the easiest.
You guys
for
let
most
me
people.
know. I know these two hooligans are going to be fine on audio. Let me know how Lucy sounds, everybody, in chat. If you can give me just some audio levels. I'm going to turn her up a little bit because,
I'm pretty quiet. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm used
to.
I can adjust. It's these two I got to deal with down. Well, where are you on my screen? Here and here. These two, I got to watch these two volume guys. And there is the timer.
I need to double check that my Audacity settings are the correct ones, because
Make sure biggest one, like the Project Hertz is honestly the minimal one. Just make sure it's your mic, most important one.
Yep.
Other than that,
my mic, it needs to be mono.
Mono recording channel. Yep. And then 48,000 hertz on the bottom left matches everything
mono.
up.
Yep. All right, I'm good to go.
All right. If you guys want to start those recordings, you can actually try and do this thing on time. Go ahead.
Okay. I started.
Yep.
Am I supposed to start the recording now? Okay.
Yeah. When I say you can start. Yeah, you're good. Travis.
All right. I just wanted to make
starting
sure
now.
I was
It's cool. I'm good.
You're good.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
You got to. We're gonna retweet the tweet.
Yep. Tweet is
the
out.
tweet
I had it
and
written. I just hadn't actually
Twitter.
done it yet. So tweet is out.
All right.
Yay.
Let me refresh for that tweet. Bam! 15 seconds ago. All right.
There we go. I also retweeted the tweet.
Awesome.
We appreciate that.
Heck yeah. Super excited.
Well, thank you everybody for jumping into chat. Thank you for being here as well, of course. Man, they're in here early. Thank you guys. So awesome. But yeah, we actually had a pretty fun stream today. I was literally got off Twitch, had food, and got right back on here. So I've been streaming today, playing a little Iron Banner, chatting it up. But I think we're about ready. So we'll go silence on the set in 5, 4, 3.
All right. And we are live. The last word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. Lot going on in the world of Destiny controversy and a cool guest. But let's start with Ebontis first. How are we doing, sir?
Doing good. Stream today, messing around with a little Iron Banner, working on a little bit of that, just kind of keeping up with the trash fire that is Destiny Twitter right now, which is entertaining. We will talk about the TWAB that sparked a little bit of controversy, you could say. And that's all coming off of the hypeness that is a new Witch Queen trailer that they dropped, I guess, one other day ago. Basically during maintenance. So kind of basically been keeping up with all of that. I finished Inscription. That game is just absolutely bonkers. Like the places that thing goes. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, mind blowing. Messing around with Monster Hunter Rise last night. And then trying to decide if I want to play that a little more or jump into Horizon Zero Dawn. So mixing up a little bit on the side. But yeah, Destiny is keeping me pretty busy this week. What about you, Travis? What do you, what excitement is coming to the life of the man of all the games?
Yeah, I'm in a weird position where I can't play Destiny right now.
No.
I'm currently on that grind where I have to do Dares of Eternity, and if I play any other activity, I'll lose my streak for Dares of Eternity. And I'm trying to do like 5 dares a day to get me there, and this is hours of grinding, guys. It's like at least 15 hours of grinding to get there. And so I don't want to have to just like lose 2 or 3 full days. That's just not really an option for me because I have other games to work on. So I have to just do dares. And when somebody goes, yo, Travis, jump into this trials card with me, I'm like, bro, I'm not going to lose 5 runs of Dares of Eternity worth of XP just to get my streak back. That's like an hour of playing dares that I didn't need to do. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not jumping into any other activities, guys. Like, if you want to play with me at Destiny this week, too bad. I'm not losing my streak. I'm doing those Dares of Eternity until I get to max rank, and then I'm never gonna play that dumb mode again. So I'm my relationship with Destiny is very toxic right now. And if that weren't enough, my Twitter this week exploded because I decided to tweet my opinion about vault space, and the internet was not happy with me.
They were not happy with you. They were
Oh
not happy.
my god! Let's talk about that, dude. I'm talking hundreds of retweets, thousands of likes, thousands of it was hundreds of comments.
Bruh.
It was unbelievable.
What did
All
you
just
say,
because
Trav?
He's like, we just
I
don't
told them that we don't need more vault space and that they need to learn to delete stuff. That's it. Like,
What?
it's 5. Here's my problem with vault space. All right, if we're gonna be real, and I have so many things to say to people in the comments that I didn't say because I don't argue with people on the internet. It's just never productive. But it's
true.
like, we gave you have 500 slots in your vault space. And let me tell you, if we double that to 1,000, that wouldn't be enough. It's never going to be enough. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be like, oh, I have enough vault space, which means Bungie has 2 options. One, they can fix the damn collection screen and make it the thing it's actually supposed to be, which I've always been an advocate for. I've always said that that's what we should do instead of vault space. Or they could just admit that you're never going to be able to keep all your stuff and you need to learn to stop being a hoarder and just get rid of it. I had people in my comments with the audacity to tell me that I'm playing the game wrong if I'm not collecting all the weapons. Well, let me tell you guys, only one of our styles of playing the game literally is impossible because Bungie won't let you play it the way that you want to because they're not giving
Travis's
you more vault
opinions
space.
do not reflect those of the Last Word podcast.
The Last Word podcast.
So, all I have to say is that-
I hate puppies and children.
Look. If
Guys,
either of us, either of us is game wrong, wouldn't it be the person who literally can't play the game that they want to in the game? Like, you're literally saying, I can't play the game I want, and you're telling me I'm playing it wrong. Maybe you should look in the mirror and get
self-reflection.
Do some of that self-reflection. Does this weapon spark joy? And if it doesn't, hold that X button. That's all I have to say. Marie Kondo that shit. Delete your vault stuff. That's all I have to say. I have no further questions.
At least it was after 5 minutes. Cool, we're good.
Sorry.
Did we play the disclaimer track, E? The reflection? The opinions of
Yes.
Make sure we
the
legally
opinions of Travis McClunky do not reflect those of the Last Word podcast or its affiliates.
Nah, that's the homie, man. He's standing on it, man. He's standing. I'll jump in real quick. Kind of the Travis situation. It's been an insanely busy week for me as a content creator, but I've been trying to sneak on. Right now, it's about doing that cleanup work prior to the new expansion. I need to get my galley catalyst. I need to get my halfway through my Arbalest catalyst being complete.
Oh,
I
like
really
you
wanna
gotta
work
have
on
that. That's a beautiful weapon now.
Yeah, you know that's going to be end game. So I'm trying to work on that. So I've been sneaking on for like an hour when I can. But to be honest with you, Trav, it's Halo Infinite's multiplayer has actually been what I can sustain, a quick burst match, and I'll get my little Tenrai armor, my little samurai armor. I get through the battle pass, and then I'm going. But I'll be back. Hopefully, shout out to DJ here in the chat. We're gonna get that dungeon. I got to get my galley catalyst done. But that's what I got, and we got a special guest we got to bring in. It's been very patient while we've been talking.
All right,
It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
welcome. Oh no, hold on.
You might be better right now.
Welcome to The Last Word, episode 180. The coals have been put on the fire, the hype train has left the station, and will only be picking up steam in the weeks to come. As we all pull out our old chemistry books from high school, and Google has its highest search request for osmium, possibly ever, we really are in pre-expansion hype. 2022 is looking to be a great year for at least video games, and Destiny is included in that list for sure. And who better to be our first guest this year than someone very well equipped to talk about the odd cross section of all things Destiny and science. This lady started her gaming journey just watching it first, but we can thank her dad for the gaming introduction. What game was it, you ask? It was Halo, of course, that got the gaming ball rolling. The action, the magic, it had the hooks in early. And why wouldn't it? Space, science fiction, it all called to her. And boy, did she answer. She took her love of the universe, the unknown, and computers, and somehow funneled that into the perfect job, NASA. Yeah, that one, and I'll say it again, a NASA software engineer. Oh, that's cute.
Yep.
That's a cute bug in your game. We can't have bugs, because if we had bugs, it would cause a $10 billion crash and could waste 10 years of planning, old school code releases, and no day one patches here. So let's welcome the co-host of the Spinfoil Theory podcast, Destiny Lore Encyclopedia, Hive Rune expert. See, I told you it was a perfect show to have her on. Raid Sherpa and Hot Cocoa Addict, the one, the only, LadyLucida. Good evening and welcome to what I will expect to be a very spicy show. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Like you said, yeah, I do work at NASA. That is my real job.
Yeah, that was when we ask our guests a couple questions. You know, some give us a lot to work with, some give us a little. You really needed to just put the one bullet point on there, NASA software engineer. Everything else could have been blank, and we could have probably talked about that. But
can I open with a
Yeah.
question that's related to
Yeah,
NASA?
sure.
absolutely.
Go for it.
When something is easy at NASA, what did they say to convey that it's easy? Because they can't say it's not rocket science.
I just say that's not rocket science. It's not rocket
It's
science.
not rocket science.
Even if it is rocket
why did you
science,
say that? Come on.
yeah.
That's not rocket
Okay,
science. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, because basically, so
Okay.
what I do particularly is I don't necessarily work with like the rockets and everything else. What I do is more with the theoretical astrophysics.
Okay.
So like we simulate planets, we simulate climate. What I did actually pretty recently, and I looked at my imaginary watch here.
I mean, it's all theoretical, right?
Ha ha ha.
That's
no,
pretty good. Ethan.
You're
That's
welcome.
pretty good.
You're welcome.
That was good.
That was good. But relatively recently, I published a scientific publication that is the culmination of the last 5 years of research.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Can
That's
you give
been
us a gamers
TLDR?
understanding level? Yeah, TLDR for the average non-rocket scientist.
For the layman.
I can dumb it down a couple levels.
Yeah.
Basically, what we did is we so with Earth, how we have the polar caps. And we have the polar caps because Earth has a slight tilt. That's called the obliquity. The obliquity also causes the seasons. If you increase the obliquity, instead of it being 23.5, if you increase it to like 90, instead of there being ice on the poles, there's ice along the equator in what we call an ice belt. So basically what my publication and what I did was I mapped the parameter space of the ice, of polar caps and ice belts. And then also on the other end of the spectrum is what we call a snowball planet. You guys have seen Star Wars. You guys know the planet
Of
Hoth.
course.
Yes,
we
of course.
have some guy on here that knows. about
Yeah,
that.
Way too
if
many
you say
times.
Star
Love it.
Wars, you just lost the rest of the podcast
Yeah,
to
this
Travis.
gonna go somewhere very quick.
Just
Oh,
could
no.
be
Oh, no.
you
What have I
talking for
done?
the next-
No, it's good.
Yeah.
He's very happy right now.
Well, because basically a snowball planet is basically like Hoth. Like you don't want to live there. You don't want to live on a planet that's it's kind of like I don't want to say like a Goldilocks situation because that's a misnomer.
Yeah.
But that's never been done before. Like the kind of research I did,
Mhm.
mapping that parameter space. So that was really cool. And then
Okay.
because of that, doing that
Sounds
research,
like a lot of
I ended
math.
up getting.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm. I would imagine so.
A little bit
Yeah.
of yeah.
yeah, a lot of math and a lot of physics.
I would imagine,
But-
yeah. I see what you mean. It seems like a Europa kind of situation going on.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much.
I guess
Beyond light.
I could have also said like Europa, but I figured Hoth. People have seen Star Wars, so they know.
We get
But
it.
yeah, that's basically.
Yeah,
I just
guarantee you
finished
more,
that up.
more people in the world know what Hoth is than Europa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Co-
Probably.
And then if you
That's
say
a
incel,
good. That's a good.
yeah. Then if you say Enceladus, you'll just lose them all.
Mm-hmm.
They're all just like, what?
Uh-huh.
What?
Is that a
That's a
word?
planet?
Where are
No.
you?
That's
So I
a
wanted to
word?
ask,
No.
like, so take Earth, tip it not so we're 90 degrees as you were saying, so there would actually be an ice belt. would Earth theoretically still be habitable?
Habitable.
Or is it more
See,
like, I
that's-
guess it would depend on, because if like, this is going to sound bad, if the South Pole, if it tilted, say if that's what was facing the sun the entire time, but the North Pole would, now I'm trying to figure out, I'm asking too many questions at the same time. Well, I guess
the East and West
okay,
Pole now.
okay.
yeah, the East and West Pole. Would the East Pole theoretically always be facing the sun? So then would the other, how would that work, out of curiosity?
How would that work? That's a great question.
You're like, yeah, that was the 5 years of research. Go read it.
That was the fun. No, it's fine. It's fine. Well, no. So basically, how it works is that because, well, we varied a bunch of different parameters. So we varied obliquity. That's, pretend this is the axial tilt. So,
Yep.
We varied this from 0 all the way to 90. We also varied what's called the eccentricity, and that's the like shape of the orbit.
Okay.
And so, like, if it's 0, then it's a perfect circle. If
Right.
it's closer to 1, then it's more oval. I'm giving a science lesson. I guess you guys
Got it.
didn't really.
No, trust me. I'd love science. Like I would,
Yeah.
I do this all day.
for this. Yes.
I'm
Oh
eating
no!
this
Oh no!
up,
What have I done? And then we also varied the semi-major axis, and then we varied the spectral type of the star too to see how that affected habitability.
Red
And
giant or anything
What's
of that nature.
Yeah, we did R star, which is a G type, a G dwarf, and then we did one below, which is F. We did F, which is one above, G, which is R star, and then K, which is one below, in like classification of stars. So we did our sun. We did a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller. We didn't do M dwarfs because M dwarfs are cringe. Sorry,
Nope, you're good.
they're not actually cringe, but they're just
One person got that joke.
Yes.
One person got that joke. Okay,
One.
that's okay. That's better than 0. That's better than 0. I'm making progress. But
No,
yeah,
you're
but
good.
basically with that, we ended up finding that ice belts are more common than polar cap for some spectral
Interesting.
types, which is like,
Ooh.
that's
Okay.
weird.
So Earth really
But yeah.
does tend to be a bit more unique than we think sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
To sum up,
besides the fact,
That's why we're number one.
TLD. Yes, that's
we
why
are.
we are number 1. We're the best because
That we know of.
that we know exactly that we know of. I mean, I'm in the camp that there's probably intelligent life somewhere out there in the universe, but space is really fucking big, really big,
Yeah, it is.
really big. Like, I don't think people don't realize how big space is. It's really, really big. So, yeah,
Getting
it's really
bigger all the
big.
time.
yeah, literally never stopping
terrible.
getting
Why would you say that?
ever expanding redshift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna
Dark
ask
matter.
right after that. Oh, what's up, Solnap? Like, just because of your background and obviously what you do is these are the reasons kind of like that made you gravitate towards. But then we're gonna get into Destiny. But your initial history was actually the Halo, right? Your dad and stuff like that. So talk about that. Talk about what gravitated you to watching this and kind of getting into that game as your precursor to Destiny.
As my precursor to Destiny. Well,
Yes.
I don't know. I just thought it was like super cool, and I've always loved like sci-fi. Like I love Star Wars. I love like all of the like sci-fi stuff, and that was the first time. Because like I didn't like when I was younger, I didn't really know what video games were. Like that's just how it was. Like in my house, I guess, because like video games were like a new thing when I was growing. I'm not like a new thing, but like
Mhm.
Xbox, like the 360 was coming out and that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. So I remember my dad playing it on like his work laptop, which was so funny. He was all like, "I'm using my government laptop to play Halo Combat Evolved," and I would always sit there and just be like, "I don't know what's happening, but I think it looks cool." Like I didn't understand the story. I didn't understand anything. I'm just like, Master Chief, go pew pew. Okay, that's cool. And then I
Nice.
really like started paying attention like when I actually played like Halo 2.
Mhm.
And you got to flip between playing as Master Chief and then playing as the
Yeah,
Orbiter.
yes.
That was cool. I know a lot of people are like later on were like, no, Orbiter's cringe. But no, I think Orbiter's cool. I like him. He's probably like one of my favorite Halo. He's cool.
He's the best.
Mhm. No doubt,
Were
no
it
doubt.
so easy.
Right, so no. So then you continued on, and then I wanted you to continue on with your Halo journey.
Yeah, and then I remember playing Halo Reach in like middle school-ish. I actually have a funny story.
We just got older.
Let's go.
Yes. I'm sorry.
No,
I made
no.
everyone feel old. I'm sorry.
So did
But
I.
We're
I
old
also played it
and
in
stupid
middle school.
tonight, so we just checking all the boxes. It's good.
just check all the boxes. Sorry.
No.
But I remember my mom was in Disneyland and my dad called her and was like, "Hey, can we get an Xbox?" And she's like, I think she was like on a ride or something. And she was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, "Okay, thanks, bye." And then he hung up and then he just bought the Xbox.
That's the dad way to do it. Hey,
That's how
in
you
this
do
point in time where you can't really answer, I need to ask you this question if I can buy something cool. Okay, bye.
Pretty much. And that happened. And then she came back and we had an Xbox and she's like, "What? What? What is this?" It was really funny. And then I started playing Halo Reach. I really like Halo Reach. It's probably one of my favorite Halo games. I took my friend the other day who had never played Halo Reach through the campaign, and he was like, "Wow, this is actually pretty good." It was really funny though, because for those of you who haven't played it, there's a part where you fly, where you go into space, and my friend was like, "It's just gonna be a cutscene. We're not actually gonna fly around in space, right?" I literally had to like mute my mic, and I was like, "Oh,
You
you're
know what's about to
be
happen.
surprised."
You know what's about to happen.
He didn't know anything. He went into it completely blind. Like he knew like people died, but that's all he knew. He didn't know anything else. So I think Halo Reach it's still like good today, which says a lot about like the quality of the game. I know it was Bungie's last Halo game that they ever worked on, and that part always made me curious. Like when I remember like playing it when I was growing up, when it was like the most recent Halo game, when they were saying this is the last one, I was like, so is Halo done?
Right.
What is Bungie gonna work on next? And then it was
Ooh.
Destiny, and I was like,
Transition.
oh yeah, look at me, look
I
at
like
me.
that. I liked it. Right for Trav. Set it up for Trav.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I'm also a big Halo fan.
A little bit.
Yeah, very big, very big. Although I haven't had as much time to play multiplayer as COG has this past month, unfortunately,
Yeah.
despite my best efforts. But you're right, COG. It is easy to log on to Halo, and I kind of miss that about it. At Destiny, it's like you got to figure out your armor loadout and your weapon loadout, and there's like all this work you have to do before you can hop into a trials card, and you don't have to deal with an Halo, which is beautiful. Yeah, I guess my question is, what drew you to Halo and Destiny? Was it the space association? Was it something like that,
Yeah,
or
it was like the sci-fi aesthetic. I just like space.
sci-fi
I think.
aesthetic? And
With
the gunplay?
Yeah,
Maybe?
definitely
Yeah.
Bungie. Yeah, Bungie definitely knows their guns. I love the Needler. My favorite gun.
Nice.
Needler girl.
Probably a
Okay.
unique take. I like that.
Beast. It's
Yeah.
Beast and Infinite. So
Oh yeah.
It really
Super
is.
strong.
It really is. I love it.
Yeah.
Needler go burr, as I like to say.
Needler
I'm really
go
sad.
burr.
Yeah, I really liked the needle rifle in Reach.
That
That
was
was
Reach
probably like
also,
because
yeah.
it basically was like a DMR and a needler had a baby, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful. It
That was a
so
weird
beautiful.
gun. Reach is
I
definitely
thought it was
one of my least favorite Halos, but lots of people
What?
really like it. Yeah. You know what's weird is
What?
people your
Head-
age tend to like Halo Reach a lot. For me, Halo 2 was my favorite, but it also came out at like that critical period where like that was
Yeah.
the dopest thing that ever come out. And Halo Reach came out when it was like the year I graduated college or something, and I was sort of like, for me it was loadouts
About it.
was the thing I didn't really like in Halo Reach multiplayer, the addition of loadouts and all the armor lock controversy that was so cheesy, the whole
Yeah,
armor lock.
that's
And then
true. That's true.
yeah, it just had lots of stuff that didn't hit it for me. I still really like the campaign, but something about Halo 2 and how much it developed the world and gave the Covenant its motives and developed the Arbiter and
Oh
had
yeah,
that back
definitely.
and forth. Like that'll always be my favorite campaign, I think. So, but yeah,
I respect that.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. So let's go to Destiny then. How did you get into Destiny? When was the first time you played? Did you play during the beta or the alpha or something like that? And what character class did you gravitate to initially, and are you still that character
Ooh.
class?
That's an interesting question. So, I remember I played the beta because I was like, oh, it's made by the same people who made Halo. Okay, I'll try it. Let's see what this is about. I remember playing with all my friends, and I got to like max level in the beta, and I made a hunter and a warlock. I don't think I made a titan. I don't remember if I
You're
made a
fine.
titan.
You're
or
fine.
not.
No need. I'm being messy.
Waiting on the
Continue. I'm
Titans,
being messy.
man.
I'm with two Titans. I'm
no, it's
always
fine.
surrounded by Titans. I gotta throw my shots when I get them.
No,
Continue.
it's fine. It's fine. And I picked hunter specifically because, like, you know how when you hover over the class when you're making them, it shows like the little description
Yes.
of it. I didn't care for Golden Gun. I was like, Golden Gun, that sounds terrible. I saw Blade
Ooh.
Dancer with the invis, and I'm like,
Okay.
okay. I like being invisible. That sounds cool. And then for Warlock, I really liked Nova Bomb. That was cool.
It's hard not to like
Nova
no.
Bomb.
Have you noticed when
Lady of the Void? I
have you
like
noticed
that.
when NPCs do cool things in cinematics? It's Nova Bomb most of the time outside of a bubble because you got
I mean,
Ikora
it just
blowing
looks
stuff up.
cool.
Even
It just looks
Savathun's doing
cool.
the same damn thing. Like that's which one she's gonna pick. She went Warlock, Void, Super. I'm like,
I mean,
all right,
it's just
fine.
it looks cool.
Yeah,
It
I mean
just
it
looks
is.
cool.
It is kind of ultra destruction.
Yeah,
You get to throw a
Excited to
thunder
see what they do
crash.
with the new Void.
pretty much. But yeah, no, definitely. And then flash forward to today, I'm in this weird, I wouldn't say predicament, but kind of this weird where I've gotten to the point where I've played Destiny so goddamn much that I can be any class, any sub. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can be whatever.
You're
It's got to that
omniclass.
point where I'm omni. I am all the class. But no. Because I'm now whatever my team needs me to be, which normally is Titan. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunately.
Oh no, that's what she said. Yeah,
Slander is welcome. Tight slander is always welcome here.
I mean, like, it's not
Feel free.
unfortunate.
Speak your truth. Speak your truth.
I feel like I have to be. Someone has to be Titan in my group because we always have we have a massive amount of hunters. Everyone likes hunters. Everyone likes hunters. And with this season, especially with particle deconstructions, hunters are kind of useless.
Yeah, they really are. No, they are. Like hunters,
they're just literally useless.
Like your tether
particle deconstruction
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Or
particle
makes it worse.
deconstruction debuffs more than tether, and you can proc it more often. You don't need to use a super.
Yep.
Guess what? Golden Gun with Celestial, I can out DPS you with a Thunder Crash. Adios, hunters are useless. Sorry. So a lot of people have been, like, I guess our main...
That's just math.
That's just math. I'm sorry. Sorry. That's just
do not
math.
challenge this lady in the math department. She will win.
No, it's fine. But so more often than not, I bite the bullet and am the bubble titan. I mean, I like Void on all the three classes. Void is my favorite, so I'm very, very excited for Void 3.0. I'm very excited. I'm very excited because then I can take, like, I could basically take Blade Dancer and make it grape flavored. Because assuming, well, that's literally what Spectral Blades is. It's literally Blade Dancer, but grape flavored.
Grape.
That's all it is.
I've heard that.
It's purple.
I've got an advanced GG flavor for you. It's called grape.
Yes. That's hilarious.
So then, assuming it works kind of the same way where you can choose your melee and grenade, and they said they're not getting rid of the Forsaken Supers. They're just gonna be reworked into that. I wish they would give us a little bit more information so we know what to expect, though.
Oh,
we're gonna be the theme of the show today.
Yeah, we're gonna get to communication.
Yeah, that is a classic.
Put a pin in that one.
Put a pin in that.
That's the final topic: is the world of Bungie communication.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
they're in non-communication.
Yeah.
But I'm just really excited because, like, for me, I love Nova Warp, and I was like, wait, can I take Devour? And Nova Warp, and put it together.
Yeah, though, yeah, that'd be sweet.
That
That'd be
sounds
sweet.
terrifying
Yeah.
to be on the other end of,
That'd be
but
sweet,
yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah, don't in PvP. Like, I'm really curious to see like how, because like with Stasis has so much customizability. I'm curious to see how what we have now for like the Void subclasses is going to translate to the Void 3.0.
I'm with you. I'm
That's-
hoping it's cool because, I mean, same thing with Titans. And they said, I think even with Void 3.0, like the Titan bubble super is going to shift up to tier 5 because it is kind of going to work the same way as well at Radiance. But just the mixing and matching, because for a Titan, Sentinel, the big shield, is functional for like Nightfalls, basically. It's not like you're going to pop that in a raid. But the grenade functionality of like the chain explosions is always so much fun. And I'm like, can I have a bubble and chain explosion? That's all I want. Like as a Void Titan, I just want those two together. If I can put those
Pretty
two,
much.
everything else is fine. And then if I gotta have shoulder charge
Yeah.
to go with that, like I'm hoping the customization that like we think is gonna be there is there. But again, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Bungie always kind of doing these half-step measures. I have a little reservation about being like full dive into Void 3.0 until I see it. But crossing my fingers they get that one right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited because, you know, thinking of all of the different customizations we can do, the build.
Yeah.
So many
Hell,
builds.
yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
But at the same time, I'm also like, I don't know about this because, like, we're gonna have to probably lose
Something.
some stuff
Yeah,
to gain this stuff, if that makes sense.
I would agree.
I'm like, what are we gonna lose?
Yeah,
Like,
there will be some concession on some level. We just got to figure out what it is and if the trade-offs are exciting.
worth it.
Yeah, worth it. Yeah.
Definitely.
It's
Yeah.
like that seems kind of like a perfect time to get into the official Destiny conversation at this point.
Mhm.
So feel free with all of your Destiny knowledge and lore and everything. This is where we are going to kind of tap into your world of lore and science.
Lord.
The Witch Queen trailer dropped on Tuesday during maintenance, and I was like, hey, cool, so I can work on this video. Okay, there's a trailer. This video is now tomorrow. Damn it. That was like my Tuesday morning. Was like, cool, I get a break, work on this video, see if I can get it tomorrow. Never mind. See what's all in here, break it down frame by frame. There was a lot of stuff that came out in there. One of them specifically is the text like frames when text is on the screen kind of saying whatever it's going to say for like her world or whatever it is. They had a little Easter eggs in there, and it was all very scientific, alchemy related. I saw Aztecross actually had a little bit more went into like old school alchemy, like lore questions and stuff. Kind of when you talked about, and I'll kind of say what the major ones are. One of them was osmium. And what they had on there was the electron configuration, which was, if you guys saw like the XE14 and all that stuff, that was the electron configuration of osmium. If you Google those, that you're only going to pop up one thing. We had sulfur, which was that the 16? How well do you know your periodic table?
Not at all.
Not your expertise. That's totally fine.
Not my expertise. Not my
physics and math. She got
expertise.
you. Periodic table should leave that to the chemist. That's why we have multiple
Yep.
people. Sulfur's one of
Yep.
them, and then now I'm blanking on the other one, even though I've
believe
talked about
Mercury
Mercury.
was
Yeah,
another
Mercury
one.
is the other one. So those were the main three kind of scientific things that people extracted from the trailer, on top of everything else. So outside of the science, which I want to get to in a second, what excited you the most about the trailer that you saw? And Lucy, you can go first, of course, because you are a guest.
I get to go first.
Yeah.
Yay.
What hyped you up the most about the trailer? What's got that hype train starting to move?
Was really excited to like see a little bit more of Savathun's throne world because I'm probably gonna live there forever. It's gonna be my favorite destination. The Hive are my favorite, and like Taken King was my favorite D1 expansion. This is probably gonna be my favorite D2 expansion because, like, come on, it's literally the Taken King equivalent in Destiny. So, what I thought was really interesting is there was one frame where it showed 3 Guardians walking up. Their guns were lowered up to what looks to be like an injured Hive ghost. Curious.
Yeah, the one with kind of like
I
the
thought that
corner broken off a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was like, are we gonna make friends with the Hive ghost? Is it gonna be our buddy? Please, I want to be friends with the Hive. I'm like, let's be friends with everybody, and then we can all fight the darkness together.
We're 2/3 of the way to the Avengers pack right now.
Exactly,
So.
we're 2/3 of the way there, and then
Not
as
even
we've
gonna count
seen
the
last
Vex.
season.
No, they're not going to be.
There. Well,
What about the
Are
Scorn?
you so sure? No, we don't care about the Scorn. Scorn are evil.
Taken?
They're bad. No,
Guys,
they're bad. Like,
this
not
coalition
everybody.
is never gonna work if we
don't have everybody.
There's
Well,
no
the problem
exclusion
is-
in this group.
The problem is both the Taken are now directly controlled by the Winnower / capital D Darkness, and same thing with the Scorn. The Scorn are now also kind of in cahoots with the Darkness, so and same with Xivu Wrath. Like, that's like the enemies, and then we have Caiatl's Cabal, we have House Light, we have the Blue Light Vex, which might be our friends. Don't know if you guys remember, but during the culmination of Season of the Splicer, off in the left side, there was a little Vex with a little blue light that was flashing in Morse code. Assistant.
I missed that one.
Yeah. So I think that was interesting. And then now we have Savathun using the light.
Right.
And we don't really know how that's going to work, because obviously Savathun keeps her memories, we assume. Otherwise, she wouldn't really be evil, now would she?
Right.
So if there was a way, to either circumvent the whole regaining their memories sort of thing, or there might be Hive, they're like, hey, this might be bad. Why don't we try and being friends? I could see that happen.
So the question
I just want
please.
the Hive to be our friends.
I was just about to ask
Hive
you.
to be our friends.
Being that you love the lore of the Hive and everything that's going on, one of the talking points we've had is in reference to, me and Travis call it we don't want to ooga booga the situation, you know what I mean? Which means basically we go in there, we go in the throne world, we kill Savathun, the Guardians did it, and that kind of a bit. And we kind of want this build up to be respected, right? So our question to you is, do you think, with what we've seen so far, and we know obviously Savathun gets the light and everything, that possibility she'll be around a bit longer, as opposed to us just kind of doing our Guardian thing and just thrashing her about and that be over with?
I definitely think it's not just going to be a one and done situation, that we're just going to waltz in there, punch Savathun in the face. It's done. Adios. We do a dance, and then we leave. No, I think it's going to be a lot more. I mean, it probably will happen. I'll probably do that when my friends and we all kill Savathun. We'll be like, haha, we'll do stupid emotes or whatever, because we're stupid. But I definitely think, because unless we kill her ghost and kill her permanently, but then that makes us I think this expansion is really gonna delve into what makes us the good guys. How is what Savathun is doing any different than what we've been doing? And I don't know if you've noticed I think the symbology of Savathun's throne world is really ironic. She has the walls.
Yes.
She's basically acting as like a speaker, telling what the rest of the Guardians to do. And then if you take that flip to what we have our walls around our city, and we had the speaker kind of leading us and telling us what to do. It's and now we're the ones invading their territory, killing them, and doing all that kind of stuff. That kind of seems bad. I mean, it's all about perspective, and as Savathun says, truth is a funny thing. It's very much it's all about perspective, I think.
Fair enough.
It is a weird thing of Destiny that all the bad guys have good guy names. They're called knights and wizards.
Yeah.
And then guardians have evil names like Warlock and Titan and things that are typically associated with evil. So I think that's probably I think that's probably a remnant of the original script where Like
We
we
were
were supposed to be
bad
bad at
guys.
the beginning, and they kind of changed it. It's probably just a remnant of that. But I hope you're right. I hope that Savathun's story is much more complex than we're used to. I hope that there's lots of kind of interplay of what makes us good or what makes us bad. Unfortunately, after having seen how they handled the relationship with the darkness and Beyond Light, I really don't think we're going to get that, because that was like a huge conversation where it should have been like, oh, we're using the darkness now. There's this other world where people are using it. I talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago, but there was such an opportunity for them to really delve into that, and they didn't do it at all. They just sort of like hand waved and were like, yep, you're using the darkness now. It's just a game mechanic, guys. Like, take it easy. I have a feeling.
Definitely.
And then from the trailer, I think there was footage of us fighting Savathun in that. So
Yeah.
I think we know at the very least that there's not going to be any major surprises, like right out the gate, of her not really being the bad guy, or anything like that, where we were hoping for more nuance. I think it's probably going to play out exactly in the way we hope it doesn't, where we're going to charge in and Savathun's going to be like, I got the light. That was my master plan. And we're going to be like, we don't care. And we're going to kill her. And then that's going to be the whole expansion. I really hope I'm wrong, but there's something in my gut that's telling me that it's going to be like that. And I had the same feeling going into Beyond Light as well.
I remember reading like one of the interviews that I think it was with Joe Blackburn, where they talked about they don't want to just have it be a one and done with Savathun. So hopefully that helps like ease you a little bit.
Yeah.
But
it's just like, it's been a lot.
Look at what happened to Aramis. I mean, like, it's technically not a one and done, but she's basically been frozen for.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was like, we've had.
So if that's what they mean, that it's not a one on done because they're going to put her on ice for a later expansion.
Put another cocoon.
You know what else wasn't a one on done? You know what else wasn't a one on done is Crota, because we're still fighting him in Dares of Eternity every hour. So
I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't take that as
Zer's will is not
real
his own. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's like the past 7 years have kind of got our expectations where they are. We have some hype, we have some reservations, but again, as you're saying, it's like, do we think this can be the campaign that is like the campaign for Destiny? Previous history tells us generally no, but part of me has at least a bit of hope, because Beyond Light, Season of the Hunt was kind of had to get this one out. Felt like that might have been it seemed like the in-between expansion. Once we got it, once we knew which Queen of More was coming, it told an odd story that I have no idea when we're going to get back to. Savathun is the bigger piece, and I think the weight that Savathun has, plus when we got to see how storytelling in Chosen, and then Splicer, and now in Lost, the growth of the narrative team, seeing literally some of the narrative people on Twitter, can't wait to see when you guys get your hands on this one. Again, the history has me big reservations, but I've seen enough that I was like, if they are going to try and deliver a campaign, especially as we're going to have replayability to the campaign with higher difficulties and things of that nature. And they mentioned they want the campaign to have pieces of dungeons and other things. There's one of those interviews that says it's all the cool secret mission stuff that we've had before. We want to have pieces of those in the campaign. It feels like it does have potential to be different if they can deliver. And that's the big thing, is they can have a lot of talk, but will they actually deliver on it? And I think that's kind of some of the interesting things as we see Savathun in the trailer. She throws a Nova Bomb. I think there's going to be proof of, hey, we go into a realm and we get just, shellacked dead, and we get revived and maybe sent back to the tower and be like, all right, that didn't work. We gotta regroup and try again. So it's there's going to be probably some understanding of she is the light, maybe one tease of one of the Guardians, and then we might face those. But there's got to be a point where Savathun in her throne world, yet we know, and they've told us, the raid boss is not Savathun. And if she is not a one and done, then I have this weird speculation. Either she's going to be asking for our help to go kill something in her raid world that maybe she can't deal with. Maybe it's some ultimate evil. Maybe it's her worm or the representation of her worm. I don't know. But it does feel like it's going to be if they do it well, at least I should say.
Right.
But again, if they connect the Crota to Regicide to Kingsfall, if they can get us to the campaign, to something, to the raid boss having meaning between all this, it's got potential. And I think they've set up these cards long enough. If they don't deliver now, like Siva said, Siva said it pretty well. If we kill another God in a strike, I will actually riot. Yeah, if that happens, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's gonna be like a 5. I can't do that again.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
agree. I think that yeah, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot, of course, for them to execute. But I'm with you. Like I said, the last year from the narrative team really gave me a lot of confidence on building stories and intertwining all these different pieces, these chess pieces to this moment. Right. The only complaint we had was just that we knew Witch Queen was delayed, so we had this big gap. But it wasn't really their fault. It was just they had to deal with it. So we just kind of been stuck in pause. But after seeing the trailer, yeah, I'm excited. First, I want to shout out. I love Deborah Wilson. Like she gives
laugh,
me chilling. Yeah,
her
it's a
laugh
very
is...
she makes me uncomfortable as Savathûn. And even like we was talking about during the season, when you do your quest steps for the week, and it's like your friend Savathûn wants to talk to you at the like that used to make me uneasy. Like I've always said that. Then you have that conversation, and she's always one step ahead. She's always the cunningness, and for me, that's why I'm so dying to know with this Marasov situation, how she dupes this whole seance and gets freed. Like I need so many questions answered. So I'm excited for that. But to the trailer itself, I think what I'm hoping for, like you said, Eve, respect the character, give us a little bit more than just a straightforward, we're going to do the thing, what I'm saying, kind of thing. And also, I like the aspect of deception. And they were kind of playing around with that in the throne world and showing different images. And correct me if I'm mistaken, I thought I saw Oryx's statue in the back doing something.
Oryx and Akka. Yep.
Yep.
I'm like, I like this. I want, because I agree, when Lucian says that, like, we got to admit, like, taking King was like, that was excellent. And Hive, as far as as far as an enemy race, they have some of the best lore. Let's just call it what it is. They're probably the more interesting enemy type than all of them. So I'm hoping we get more backstory with that, those relationships. I'm curious about the Xivu Arath thing, where that's gonna go. Are we gonna get deep into that? Are they saving that for later? But the last thing I'll say is the pyramid ship. I gotta know what's going on. I gotta know what's going on. My curiosity with the space Doritos has not has not been quenched. We've been
we heard space Doritos once, and we can't get rid of that. By the way,
like we've been planets been taken.
I think it's great.
What are their whole thing with Savathûn? I need to know, and I hope they execute. But I got a little hope. But that they might pull this stuff together. But we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just kind of terrified from staring at the cracked open pyramid ship inside Savathûn's throne world. You guys don't realize Marasov threw everything at the pyramids. Nothing. Yeah. Rasputin threw everything he had at the pyramids. Nothing. Asher, I'm pretty sure Asher shot a nuke or something at the pyramids on Io. Nothing. Well, the fact that Savathûn has something that can just crack a pyramid open, that's bad. That's really bad.
So do you think? So here's a question: do you actually think that that's a legitimate pyramid in her throne world? Because my question would be, how would a pyramid ship get into her throne world? Because it isn't her throne world, kind of her own creation.
True, but you have to remember. We know that the first mission takes place on Mars.
Yes.
And we know that there was a pyramid ship that ate Mars for breakfast, basically. So it's possible that Savathûn was able to do something to invert the pyramid ship, so to speak, where basically the pyramid ship goes in her throne world or something. We don't know. I'm kind of looking at that pyramid ship no, nope, nobody, nope, just back away, the darkness freaks me out, man. It's scary.
I kind of think that it's not a real pyramid.
You don't think it's real?
I kind of feel like it. Yeah, I kind of think it's metaphorical, or it represents something in her mind, her connection to the darkness, or her past,
I can
or
definitely see
previous
that.
encounters, or something. And I think if the raid takes place there, it'll probably be like, what is Savathun afraid of? Like that's the thing that we're gonna go and
Yeah, we
and
definitely. I
The
think they
Winnower
did
or
say-
Zivu Wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure the raid does take place on the pier.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we know
they've
that
said that.
part. So
We know that.
I think, and then it'll be like,
but-
now that you've killed Savathun, figure out what Savathun
She's not dying.
fears.
He better not die in strike mission.
You better not die, you
Travis.
guys.
Now that you've killed
Yeah.
Savathun during the 3-hour campaign, come
Oh
play
my
the
God.
raid.
Oh
Come
no!
play the raid and kill the darkness, and that is the
That
end of
better
the
not be the
franchise.
marketing book, Trav. That better not be the marketing book. I better not see that as the bullet point.
Yeah. Well, because they say, quote, among the swamps of Savathun's throne world lies a sunken pyramid. Along your fire team, venture inward. Ancient danger imprisoned with it.
That's why I wondered on the
So-
ancient danger. Somebody in my chat had mentioned that it was possibly like her worm of some kind, because I know we're trying to split her
Maybe.
from her worm, but that's what she wants separation from. So what does she fear, or like the attachment to it? Maybe it's like kind of her, I don't know. That's somebody said that and I was like, I don't picture it being the worm, but I was like, at least the scale of a worm would be fitting of a raid boss if it's not killed with just a strike mechanic.
I think it'd be really funny if the final boss of the Witch Queen raid was Tanix's legs.
Yo, don't even
Just
start. Don't put no tag. Don't put that evil on me. I've had enough of Tactics. I love him, but I've had enough, fam. you
Yeah.
deep
No,
It'll be
it
Crota.
would be-
It'll be Crota. You're right. Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah,
Crota.
that's
Yeah.
the ancient
Oh,
evil prisoner inside.
The ancient
Yeah.
evil.
It's
It's
Star
her-
Horse.
Ancient
It's her
evil
nephew.
is-
Her nephew is the
Yep.
ancient evil. She's terrified of her nephew. This dude, he
I don't
just
know. I
got crazy.
think maybe assuming it's not like her worm. I don't think it's her worm.
That's fair.
And assuming the pyramid ship isn't like some like fake imaginative thing, if it's real, then I'm thinking the enemies in the raid are either going to be Scorn or Taken. That's my guess.
Okay.
Probably.
Because it's kind of suspicious that Bungie added, Scorn champions when the Nightfall
Yeah.
It's going
that
away. Yep.
has Scorn champions is going away. It's like, huh?
Why
That's
would you?
weird.
Why would you put
Why
in this
would you-
work?
Why exactly? Why would you put in this unnecessary work, adding in all of these assets and stuff just to Thanos snap it out of existence in a couple
Right.
months? Like that doesn't seem. I know Bungie's trying to be a lot smarter with their resources and that sort of thing. So my assumption is either going to be Taken or Scored, maybe a combination of the two, something like that. I mean, we've already had a Taken raid Last Wish, so I'm leaning more towards Scorn, but
too.
or Hive. I mean,
Yeah.
something like that, because we haven't ever had a Scorn raid. Scorn hasn't really had a
That is true.
focus since
Oh,
That is true.
man.
Forsaken.
That
I think
is
it'll be
true.
a Scorn
They've
raid
only-
for sure.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
That's a lot of. I
And
hate.
we've also seen pictures of, I guess it's from Bungie's press releases where there's pictures, and in the trailer there was Scorn in Savathun's
Yeah.
Stone World. So
Right,
Yeah,
they're
there's
like,
definitely scorn in there for
Hmm.
sure.
Quick question
Yeah.
before we move on from last. I have Lucy. Over under survival. Marasov, Osiris. Do they make it to which? I
I
need
think
to
they
know
do.
from you.
I do. I
break it
mean,
down.
like,
I'm
do
a
you want me to
Saris
tell
fanboy.
you? Because I know. I know. I
Oh, you
actually know. Yes, I have secret future knowledge.
Okay.
I
No,
have
she
secret-
reads.
I read. I can read. No, I'm kidding.
Because I'm real Saris
Well, no.
fanboy. It's looking spooky for my man, so I need to know. I need to
Yeah.
know. I'm asking.
I know,
What's
yeah.
going to happen?
Well, do you want me to spoil it though? I feel
Oh,
bad.
I mean,
I
it's-
can be
I'll leave-
vague. I can be
be
vague. I
vague.
can
Be
be
vague.
vague.
Be vague. Let's do that.
Okay.
And Mora.
How do I be vague? I guess I'll say this. Bungie would be really, really stupid to go through, because it's a very common trope. It's called the bury your gaze trope. And I know Bungie's very no, it's an actual trope in like media where like, there's these gay characters and one of them dies for character development. It happens a lot. It's really bad and
That's
I
real.
hate it. So, and Bungie's very inclusive, so I would highly dislike. That'd be really stupid if they did that. It'd
How
be
about
really bad
bury
writing.
your babes? How about
Bury your
Mars
bae.
Off?
There we go. There we go. Well,
Saints
no,
are like that
but
too.
like, I mean, it's also kind of poetic
Mhm.
if you kind of think about it from this way, where Osiris went through so much effort to get Saint back
I'm going.
for
That's where
now
I'm going.
having Saint
hope.
do the
Give me
same
hope, girl.
thing. Yeah, I think
right.
I think he'll be okay. I think
Okay.
everything will be fine. I think Savathun will actually pull through and do uphold her end of the bargain, but at the last second be like, bye, I'm out.
Okay.
Adios.
Mara. Because there's a prevailing theory in the community. And shout out, I forgot who mentioned it. And shout out my boy Wilhelm Scream. He listens to us a lot as well. And Trav. There's a train of thought that there's been Mara Sov and Savathun are the same. Where do you stand on that? And then the whole, if they're not the same, which I feel they're not the same, is Mara going to be able to survive this eventual? We know Savathun is going to beat whatever this at the end of this season of the law stuff that she got going on with the seance.
Whenever it finally arrives, it's been 84 years. Nah, I'm just joking.
It's been 84
no, I think
years.
Well, no, because like I was like, okay, it's got to be this week, and then nothing. I was like, okay, it's got to be this week,
That's
and
me
then
too.
nothing. And then
2 weeks before the
I'm
end of the
just like,
season is what I'm guessing. So hold your
yeah,
breath.
I'm thinking it's probably going to be February 1st, probably that week.
Let's go. What you think?
Hopefully.
What you think, Lucy? Talk to me. What you thinking?
I think that, yes, I do. Bungie likes I guess, using their mirrors with how, Mara mirrors Savathun. They've made that analogy a lot. I do think Mara, though, is, I wouldn't say too important of a character just to die.
Okay.
She definitely, personally, I think, because I know people have been saying, with the spoiler alert hand or sidearm coming back, people are like, oh,
somebody's going to die.
Because the narrative team said, yeah, someone's going to die. I mean, you could be really obvious and be like, well, Savathun's technically dying.
Right. Technically. Yeah, technically, yes. Correct.
But some people, I think Spider's going to die. I mean,
Mara
already has a hitman squad on him. Yeah. Like she literally said to Petra, after we're done with this whole Savathun thing, get a kill squad ready for Spider.
Yeah,
he's gonna die.
She lives that long. That's only if she lives that long, man.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I mean,
I hope she dies. I want Mara to die.
You want Mara to die?
I do want Mara to die. Yeah.
Why?
She's obnoxious. There's no room. There's no room for queens out here. There's no room for this lady. Thinks that she. Do you remember Vanilla Destiny's campaign? I feel like everyone was on my side back then because she was like the most annoying part of the campaign where she's like, "Oh, I'm a queen. I don't like you, guardians. Go and do my bidding and bring me a Vex head."
She was obnoxious in the beginning.
Yeah, she's super annoying.
I think she rose a little bit in fame at Taken King when she had a moment.
Oh,
she
yeah,
was like Walrus off and the Techians grabbed her. That was kind of a moment. It was kind of gangster.
Apparently, it was a planned moment. We figured out in Destiny 2 because then she got to her like Infinity Throne World thing.
Yes.
Aren't you guys a little annoyed by her in Season of the Lost? Like the way she treats Crow and the way she treats you and the way she's so arrogant about Savathun and the way she's like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing and I'll get my servant Petra to do things for me." Everything about her has made me not like her. And I feel like if she died, I'd kind of be like, well, now I like Savathun a little bit more, to be honest.
Holy crap.
So I kind of hope she dies.
Well, I definitely think...
Good. I'm sorry.
I definitely think that we've gotten a little more of Mara's character this season. We've definitely seen her, like, I feel like she has like this mask that she wears around everybody that's very much like she has to be strong because she feels like she's the only person who can do this. And you've seen a little bit. There's been little moments here and there where you can see like the stress is getting to her. She snapped a couple times at Ikora, and all these
Boom,
people,
that
and I'm just like,
conversation they had in the cocoon, girl, that was serious.
mhm,
I was like,
yeah,
putting on that face, but I know what's going on. Sorry, continue.
yeah. No. You're absolutely right. And I think the main reason she doesn't like Guardians so much is like, especially in the beginning when Mara and the rest of her people kind of came back to the Sol system, and like they only had a very small amount of people with them, and then a good chunk of them was like, you know what, we're gonna go help Earth, and she's like, we should help ourselves first and then go help Earth, and then those people leave, those people die, they become guardians or not, some of them didn't, and then they lose. I guess Mara's biggest thing is she very much likes being in control.
Yeah.
She's kind of a control freak.
Yes.
Very much. She has her like she has her plans, and I mean, also you have to think about it. Us, we like the players, we know Mara's plan isn't gonna work. We've seen the Witch Queen trailers. Like in universe, nobody knows. They don't have Guardian TV where they can watch the Witch Queen trailers. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. They don't have future knowledge like we do. So like, if pretending like we don't know that Savathun is gonna, but I wouldn't say betray, but like pull a switcheroo.
Yeah, there's
Or
gonna be some last
basically
second sleight of hand for her to get out of there. Yeah, it seems like that. But
yeah, definitely. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I definitely feel like this season has added a lot of character to Mara, and I hope by the end of it, she kind of comes to an understanding with Crow. Because I know, like, right now, she's very conflicted. She's even said so herself that she's really been conflicted because even the whole time, like, while she was queen, she's like, one of her voice lines was like, the queen in me wanted to keep Aldrin's at arm's length, but the sister in me wanted to, like, you know, help him. And it was just like, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. So, like, it just, I don't know. I really like the Awoken and the Dreaming City, and
Beautiful.
like my Warlock is all like the Season of the Lost stuff.
Facts. Trip it, girl.
The as I like to call it, in the necrotic drip.
Yes.
As I call it, to have necrotic
there you
drip.
go. Nice.
I'll show you I will trade notes after the show.
Yeah, you guys got drip. I got homeless Titan over here, so
and
it's
then
fine.
and then my hunter is running the full Thorn armor with the new Omnioculus.
Nice. Those
yeah,
are good.
well, I've got a mark dangling on my hip in case I run out of toilet paper. So
shout out to the butt towel.
Butt towels unite right here.
The butt towels.
Butt towel, baby.
And then my Titan is all like black armor, very like deep stone crypt. All of my characters have a theme. They all have a theme to them.
I will say, with regards to the transmog, can I just like lock my look, and that way if I switch pieces I don't have to change the look on every. Can I just have like a permanent look, so when I'm switching out gear for stats or mods or whatever it is, I don't like go through switch and mods, run a lost sector and look, I'm like, why do I look like I just fell through like a 14 paint cans? Why do I look wrong? I was like, I just had this set up. Like, no, that was an annoying thing to me, and that's why I said I look homeless one time, because I was like, oh, I have like, because I have like the new Thorn armor or the new Marathon ornaments. I've been wearing those with like kind of the Quicksilver ornament. I was like, cool, got a theme, great. Oh, I got to switch over a couple things because I was going to go do PvP. Let me switch them. Why do I look like an idiot right now? That literally happened. I'm just lock them in. That's all I wanted. So
yeah, I definitely am really, really, really glad that Dim now has the fashion option for your loadouts.
Oh,
I've been doing that a lot. Yeah, they just added that like really, really recently, and I literally spent an hour just going through all of my loadouts because I like when I run Curse of the Falling Star, I have a look. If I'm running like Doomfang Cauldron,
how full is your vault,
look.
Lucy? How full is your vault?
How full is my vault? Oh, let's look. Let's open up Dim right now. Put me on the spot. Put me in the hot seat.
Let's go. What's the number?
I'm at about like 450, but that's because I haven't gone. I mean, with the changes they announced today, I can go through and like delete a good 90% of my armor. Because
the armor now can get shrunk a lot. That I'm happy about.
Yeah, that was because a lot of the reasons I kept it was for like outfits for like fashion, and then I have just a lot of like, oh, this is really good raid armor. But now that we can change affinity wherever for masterworked armor, I
we're
can
gonna get to that. Yeah.
Yep.
I can definitely shrink down my vault a lot.
Well, one more
I went
thing
through my
before.
vault.
Oh
Oh,
no, go
go ahead.
ahead. No, I was just gonna say
Oh.
one more thing before we get to the TWAB stuff because I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
guys from the trailer, what size of destination do you think this is going to be?
Europa size or bigger.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be maybe Ness. I think isn't Ness's biggest destination? I think Nessus or Europa.
Nessus or
Nessus is-
EDZ are
Nessus is
a couple of the biggest.
Yeah, I
Europa's
think
got a
it's
lot
gonna
up
be
in the
about that
top
size.
that like got used for story and nobody goes there anymore, but it actually was
Yeah,
pretty big. But yeah, Nessus is
unfortunately.
massive.
I think it's probably gonna be Europa, maybe Nessus size, because they've shown like a lot of different white bone looking like cathedral look.
Yep.
You have
Yes.
like the more jungly swamp look. You have like there's a bunch of different like biomes.
Yes.
So I definitely think it's probably gonna be pretty big, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, because we've seen, I think this is the
You're
first time
right.
we saw, I don't know if it's going to be considered like subterranean or just a different part, because you've got like more floating platforms over kind of like the lake of lava look off into
Yeah.
like the castle,
Yeah,
which does not
definitely.
match like her main like citadel area. And then obviously the whole swamp, and depending on what connections and stuff, I'd like to see, because right now I'll say like there's 3 landing zones on Europa. I'd like to see like 4 to 5. For that scale.
Yeah.
I would be happy with, if it was 5, I'd be like, all right, this is solid. But it just depends on the way they have
Yeah.
it set up, the way we get to them. Because, I mean, you've got 3 on Europa, but that whole upper area, if you go running through it, it takes a while to get through, but we never use it that much. So I'm hoping,
Yeah.
same thing, some of these places actually get a little bit more use. And with the reusable campaign, they probably will. But
Yeah, I definitely hope so. But yeah.
so, you gentlemen, big, small, any planet reference you want to kind of put it to? Is it Nessus, EDZ?
I agree with Lady. I think that that sounds about right. Like right at that size. I think it'll be substantial, but I write it right in that pocket. I don't see any. My main thing is, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you all I care about. How many transmat zones we get?
There you go. I'm good. Yep.
That's all I care about. Just
Yeah,
don't
that's
do
all
the
I care
Europa.
about that.
Don't put one at the bottom and then make me have to go through the whole thing. And then it's like, can I get, how long did it take us to get the transmat at the top for Europa? That's all I get. Give me some transmat zones. Good.
I kind of hope it's
Yeah.
not as big as the other planets, to be honest, because the thing about Europa and Nessus, less with Nessus, but definitely Europa, is most of the space isn't used super well, and you're just flying through it. It takes a really long time to get to places,
agree.
and there's not really any reason for them to be so big. And I would rather them create a small space that's super intricate, like the Taken King's
like Dreadnought. Like Dreadnought. Yeah. Dreadnought with fire. Yeah.
Like the Dreadnought. I think Dreadnought's really great because it was smaller. Yes, you should have been able to use your Sparrow, but it was still small enough where you could run across it. And there were lots of secrets and things to do and places to explore. And I think because it's in a throne world, you don't even really have to make these places connect in a way that makes sense. It's not like transmatting makes sense when you're going to a thrones world, right? So like you can go through portals that lead to different areas, and the world can be layered on top of each other with different versions of it. And there's all these cool things that they could do that I would be super disappointed if it was literally just like, here's a swamp, fly through and find, the one castle that you want to go to, and then fly to the one pyramid that has the raid at it. And I just really hope they don't do that. I don't want to get on my Sparrow and fly through this place and begin to resent the environment. I would really like it if it was smaller and more focused and more kind of filled with secrets rather than density. A big wide.
I got you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. No, I get that.
What else we got, E?
Well, to make things, of course, spicy for a podcast, I felt like dropping the first TWAB of the year. And boy, did it come out well. And yet, it had to drop a turd at the end. So we're going to hit the high notes first. And part of this discussion, before I even get into this, because I've already put a video out with the comments, I've looked at other videos, seen their comments. We don't know all the information. which is the last thing we're going to talk about. And that's part of the problem of the way this whole last one gets loaded out. We can still speculate about what the issues are going to be, and I'm still not entirely sure they can solve them all. But when we get to the last section, it's all about communication. We get some, we don't get it all. Some of it's going to come later. There's some secret. It's just weird. So you guys will understand when we get there. We're going to start one of the most consistent. There's only 4 main things. Like the TWAB is pretty straightforward. They're like, hey, there's a new trailer. Go watch it. We're all excited. We are pumped out of our mind. They've been screaming Bungie at the rafters. So yeah. That being said, artifact mod update, insert orb memes here. One of the consistent pieces of feedback that we've been wanting to act on for a while involves the unlocking of artifact mods. We've all been asking for it. Starting in Season 16, players will no longer be limited to the number of artifact mods they can unlock. This means that players could feasibly unlock all 25 mods by the end of the season. While we have made some small adjustments to the amount of XP required to unlock artifact mods 1 through 12, in general, the pace of unlocking these first 12 should be close to what we've seen in Season 15's artifact. For each unlock after 12, increased XP will be required for the next artifact mod to unlock. The choice of which order to unlock the mod still requires some decision making. If you want to go for all of them, you can. So I wanted to get you guys' take on this one first. Thoughts, yays, nays, any thoughts about it?
I
So we
think
can get all the
it's a
mods?
really, yes, all of them. When? W.
Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
W.
Yeah, I think it's really great because, like, for example, especially like the last, they're all kind of good because there's a build you can do with, I think it's thermoclastic something or another. I'm so smart. With the solar hammer, where you can just throw it and you can just
or
instant kill
deletes
things.
raid
Like,
bosses. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
yeah, it's stupid, but it's fun. But for me to do that, I'd have to reset my artifact for the 3rd time, and I'm like, oh boy, there goes all my glimmer. I'm so
They didn't mention
excited.
about the cost.
Yeah,
Of
Oh, I'm
resetting?
sure it'll have the
That's
cost
true.
still. Yeah.
We
You can
hope.
still reset your artifact and make your picks again, and that will still be there. So yeah.
At what
Yeah.
cost?
I mean,
Yeah.
right now, I'm sure the cost will be the same, but theoretically, you have to do it. For me, I'm just going to say this now. I know everybody was excited about this. My one thing is, why does it have to be here's 3/4, but we're taking a quarter step back? I like the fact that we can
Yep.
unlock them, but it's like, here's your normal 1 through 12. But then it's going to get longer and longer and longer. And if these seasons are like normal seasons, you might get like, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that. Trying to get all 25 is for the crazy people who are like rank 1,000 this season. I was walking through the tower and I saw 1,098 and I'm going, what are you? Go outside.
Go
Touch
outside.
grass.
Go see touch grass. Yeah,
grass.
all of those things are
Please.
go. Yeah, anything. Go something. I know it's not the.
Ebontis.
I know it's not the best time to go publicly into the world, but at least go like wave at the sun for a minute.
Mhm.
Not everybody does that. Even I'm like season rank 330, which is the highest I've ever been, just because this season's so damn long. So it's like, for me, it's just the point to where, why does it have to be this exponential curve at the end? Why can't it just be linear? They set the artifacts up to where you can't have 2 cool like mods on your artifact. Like, God forbid they ever give us 14 energy so you can actually have some crazy fun. No, here's 10. You're going to get this mod and like one other thing. That's it. You can't ever double stack them. They already have it set up that way. So why not just let me linearly go like bam, 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 have them all. And then we just have fun, mix and match all season long. Why? That's my one thing. It's like, I'm happy I can unlock more.
Yeah.
And maybe there's only a couple more I care about. But just the fact that like, how long is 13 and 14 and 15 going to take? When they say it's like,
Yeah.
it's going to be increased. I'm like, is it like 100K, 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 million? I'm going to be like, so I just had to say
Yeah,
it. I'm
they
like,
haven't
make it
really-
linear. That's just make it.
It's going to be a lot. I guarantee you.
I know. And if the resets are still 10 grand and then they go up somewhat, like if it's 10, 20, if it's like 10, 12, I don't even know how much it is right now for the low ones, but just it's, oh, and we're going to get to more of these couple steps. Anyway, I had to throw that out there. You guys seem mostly on board. This one isn't going to be the point of contention anyway. When it comes to artifact mods themselves, we are bringing back a few perennial favorites of anti-champion mods. Anti-barrier scouts and bows. We've got some overload, auto rifles, and SMGs. There is a caveat to that because I'm like, dear God, no. Which they have made more reliable than previous seasons. Auto rifles and SMGs on overloads are like the worst. if there is another option in a season, you pick the other option. Because it's always continuous.
Divinity! Woo.
Well, yeah, but it's always continuous fire on something is what you need. And it's like continuous fire on an overload champion when you have attrition on in the middle of a master lost sector. You look at him like for half a second, it's like ding, ding, dead. So, yeah, I'm hoping they fix overload champions because those are a little annoying. And then they also mention we'll also be highlighting the new glaive archetype coming up in the Witch Queen through a variety of artifact mods, including an option to make your glaive the solution to unstoppable champions. And we have a few new artifact mods that will enhance some of the new weapon perks.
Interesting.
Any thoughts on the upcoming champions? And now you at least know what to grind for, since I just put out a video 2 days ago on what to grind for, and now it's updated. Yay!
Woo! Go get that. Go get that. Ebontis channel right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer anti-barrier scouts and bows over auto rifle. I mean, now that we have Arbalist,
Oh, shit.
The
Arbalist is
go-to.
never leaving that slot.
yeah, but like, I don't know. I think definitely the fact that it's scout rifles is really good because I just like scout rifles. Scout rifles are good. And for me personally, I don't know. I don't like auto rifles. I think auto rifles need a buff in PvE per
Yes.
se because they're like you're shoot. It's like you're just like barely doing anything. You're
Mhm.
flicking them. You're flicking the guy, and the guy's like, "I'm God. You can't touch me."
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just I both like and hate the champion system, me personally. I think champions were kind of a
You and me both.
artificial difficulty band-aid.
And I think they've leaned on it the same way for way too long. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we have scorn champions, but it's just like, you know, you there hasn't been a whole lot of creativity in the champions, and that's like their answer of how do we make this harder? We'll throw some champions in there and then make things one shot you.
Yeah.
That's most of what we get right now. And the champions, especially like in some places where, you know, overloads are not always the most reliable. Anti-barriers, if an anti-barrier can move or teleport and get out of the way and that shield pops in the wrong place, that's frustrating. So it's like,
Yeah.
it just, yeah. So it doesn't seem to be happening right now for giant new champion questions, but yeah, it's like anti-barrier, cool, overload. Well, so we'll just have to see. I'm kind of like with you. I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to see what's what on those.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Definitely.
I got a couple of scouts I've been dying to use. Servant, Leader, and the Kinetic has been one. I want to dust off Trusty in the energy, Vision of Confluence in the energy as well. So I actually like from a distance. I could use my scout on them annoying anti-barriers, anti-barrier champion. So yeah, I like that. I'm with E though. I hope they fix the whole SMG, auto rifle overload thing because that's annoying. Those things be dancing around and you shoot them and to get the sustained stun sometimes is just so annoying, especially when you're doing a lost sector and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
bows is one hit, hand cannons is 3 or 2 trigger pulls depending on if you got the right perks on your weapon. So it really is just kind of, it's not, they don't even play the same way. You're sitting there trying to unload a whole clip, just trying to get something to remotely kind of stand still, and it never feels right. The others are just like bink, bink, and you can control them so much more easily with the other ones. So yes, I do hope they make that fix.
Yeah. That's
final positive point to take a little bit of pressure off your vault spade, which is what we were talking about earlier. We're also making some adjustments to the the way Masterwork armors work. Starting with the launch of Witch Queen, you can change the energy type. So Arc, Solar Void, and now Stasis, which is just another color. A fully Masterwork, so you got to be 10 out of 10 energy unlocked. You can change the energy type. So you could go from 10 out of 10 energy or 10 out of 10 Arc to 10 out of 10 Solar for a much reduced cost. A fully Masterwork piece of legendary gear can be changed for the cost of 10,000 Glimmer and 1 upgrade module. That's it. It's like
beautiful.
It's basically just like infusing a piece of gear at this point.
That's good.
While a fully Masterwork exotic will take 20,000 Glimmer and 1 upgrade module. So
shocked.
you and me both, man.
Bro, I thought they was going to ask for a golf ball.
50,000 or something. Yeah.
I was worried.
But that's kind of the thing. It's like if you make the investment in the golf ball, and then you find something with slightly better stats, you're like, God. And now it's like you can make those decisions, but you could at least, hey, let me repurpose this. Like there's more flexibility in your builds, move around mods, that type of thing is just going to be better. So it's like, anybody see any major problems with this one?
No,
The
I love
fun
it.
topic is next.
I'll jump it because for me as a person, first of all, they love to introduce new armor mods that are specific to specific armor classifications and energy types. So it's like when they have a stasis thing, and I'm like, damn, I have no stasis armor. Now I gotta level this thing up, put 2 or 3 golf balls or something, and it's like, come on, So give me that flexibility. And this is what we were talking about, when we always do the Outriders comparison, right? We say, look how easy it is to just switch this and add this mod. Like that's what Destiny needs to stop discouraging me from builds and armor and changing on the fly. That's why I'm so hard on them with the artifact. That's why I'm so hard on them with the cost
from builds.
Yeah, like don't discourage me. I want to play in your sandbox. I love these options. Hey, you got some stasis armor mods. Like I want to use those. Don't make it difficult for me. You know what I'm saying? So this is a great step. I want to be positive first. But I know we're gonna go in, but this is a great positive step.
Yeah.
Salute to them on this one.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think this was a very requested and much needed thing. So, like, for me, I can now go through my vault, get rid of most of my armor, because I'd have, like, a full, like, I'd have Vogue armor, a specific element. I'd have Arc armor, I'd have, like, Deepstone Crypt armor, a specific element because of the mods. I mean, like, the raid mods, they're not, like, it's not like Garden of Salvation where like you need to have the raid mod to do the raid. It's just like it's like icing on the cake.
Yes.
They make it a little bit easy, a little bit nice. But I definitely think this is really nice because especially with the right now with at least with my team for Witch Queen, the raid, we've been already like thinking of like builds and stuff like okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? Okay, everyone should probably be running Protective Light, which, with what we're going to talk about next, is going to be really interesting.
Yeah. So should I just get into it?
Just rip off the Band-Aid, my dude.
You've been nice all this time.
Band-Aid rip is coming. Comments are going to be, they're already entertaining. I've looked at my video and there's bigger ones out there. So, closing out. We are also making a change to the way Guardians create orbs of power with weapons. In case you guys are audio listeners, Lucy is giving that as a 2 giant thumbs down. FYI, audio listeners.
Definitely doing it.
Yeah, that's the gladiator turn to the down. Elements of the new weapon crafting system will encourage you to use many different weapons and ask you to burn hard-earned masterwork materials on a weapon that you may only be using for a few hours, just to generate orbs. That seems like a tall order. Like, okay, so they actually realize that we're going to be using a bunch of different weapons and we want to masterwork them to play the way, make some orbs. It's going to be a little ridiculous. So, this, combined with our desire to act on consistent player feedback that we want, basically exotic weapons to be able to generate orbs of power, even though they don't have a catalyst, led us to this implementation we'll be using in Witch Queen and beyond. It seems like a band-aid for a bullet hole, but we'll get there. Orb generation. Sorry.
Funny.
One of those random metaphors you hear from your parents, and it occasionally pops out. Orb generation on weapon multi-kills will no longer be a function of a weapon's masterwork status. If your vault of masterworked weapons, if your vault is full of masterwork weapons, that doesn't matter now. 1.
I'm leading the witness.
Yeah, I'm going to lead the witness hard on this one.
You always accuse me. Go ahead, continue.
Oh, no, it's bad. Trust me, I know. But will instead be provided by a suite of armor mods, which are unlocked automatically for all players, which plug into the helmet armor mod socket. Each such mod will apply the orb generation effect to all weapons you have equipped of a particular damage type. So a single mod will cover multiple weapons in your arsenal if, and only if, they share a damage type. This also applies to weapons that change damage types like Hard Light, Kinetic, and Osmosis. We will continue to create exotic catalysts over the next few seasons, but in the meantime, we will be able to generate orbs with Cloud Strike, Thorn, Thunderlord, Teraba, and any other weapon in the game. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Hey, there we
Okay.
go. Guest is gonna take it because I should not.
I'll take it first, I guess. Bungie, what the fuck are you thinking? What the hell? I'm sorry. Like, this is probably one of the dumbest things I have ever heard in... I think, there's 24 exotics without catalyst? I think, like, a very small number of exotics that don't have catalysts. And they're going to basically remove the whole... I would say, at least for PvE, which is what I would say, most people play PvE stuff at one point or another. Like, that's why I masterwork weapons, is to make orbs. I don't really care about whatever the masterwork is. I mean, like, if it's something that I need, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Otherwise, I'm like, about it. Like, because when you're doing Grandmasters, when you're doing Master Raids, what you normally run is you run Protective Light, and you run the picking up orbs charges you with light. Like, that is a must for end game content.
Get him, sis.
Like, because, like, it just really frustrates me because, you know, we went 2 steps forward with, you know, the artifact thing, the champion mods, the armor master, you know, we did all this cool stuff, and they're like, oh, by the way, all of the stuff you've masterworked is literally pointless now. I think this is almost as bad as sunsetting. Like, this is bad, I think. I think it's really bad because, like, in endgame content now, the only way you're gonna... And even if you think about, like, most endgame content has match game. Most people don't run all the same element as... Like, for me, I run my subclass as, like, Void, and then I run an Arc Heavy and a Solar secondary.
Right, with
So
the mixed matching of the elements, right.
Yeah. So then I have everything covered. It's like that makes sense. And now Bungie is punishing players for doing that. And that's not fair. And then on top of that, your helmet mods are already full anyways, because you have, you know, any minor or major one, which can be anywhere from 1 to 5 if you're doing intellect. And then on top of that, there's your ammo finder mods, which for endgame content, you kind of need that. Like, if you don't have your heavy, if you don't have your special weapons, you're not going to be doing as much damage. And damage is kind of really important, especially in raids and Grandmasters. So, like, having to choose between orb generation and whether I get ammo is really stupid. And I feel like this is a charged with light nerf disguised as a quality of life change. That's how I feel about it.
Let's get Trav. He seems to have the disagreeing father look, so I want to know where Trav's going with this.
Trav's like, I'm totally good. Set Twitter on fire again. Go.
Yeah, I want to hear this. I want to hear where he's at.
Not again.
Let's go. Let's get this smoke.
I, as usual, have a moderate opinion, which usually I get in trouble not for having extreme opinions. I get in trouble for having moderate opinions around people who are all fanatics or psychopaths. So
here we go.
I think people are overreacting to this majorly.
Okay.
For a whole bunch of reasons. I think that we haven't seen it in action yet. We don't know what the mods actually do. It could be that they give us bigger orbs. Remember when they used to give us big orbs for stuff, and then they realized we were getting our supers too fast, so they made these like 1/6% orbs that aren't as good as they're not as good as the real orbs. Like you know the difference between between an orb you generated by your super and one you generated from a masterwork. So it could be that they're going back to the old orbs with this new mod, which would definitely offset kind of the inconvenience. The other thing is that Bungie has said multiple times that they think we get our powers too quickly, including our supers. And so this could be just part of that effort to generally kind of tune that down. And if that's best for the sandbox, it's best for the sandbox, man. I personally think that we probably get our super too quickly. Granted, I've been playing a lot of Dares of Eternity, so that's like I'm like, God, I just always have my super.
You just unload your rocket launcher for about 5 minminutes in there. That's all you do.
Yeah. Unload your rocket launcher for 5 minutes and then use your super and then repeat in dares. But that as well. I also think that the way that that the current system was set up for getting orbs was kind of bad. Like I get that we had to masterwork all of our weapons, but to their point, it wasn't ubiquitous. It wasn't universally applied to all weapons. It was some weapons and then some exotics you applied by doing the catalyst. And if you're a new light player, that's incredibly confusing. And it also is kind of a weird way to do it. It's like this masterworking of weapons had no purpose except to do this one thing. And now we get a chance to see, okay, well, are they going to give us a reason to masterwork our weapons then if they're taking this away? What does that look like? I don't think we know the answer there yet. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure the answer isn't we're going to masterwork weapons so that you can see how many things you killed with it. I think maybe we can agree that that's not their end game.
That was an end game?
I think they're probably going to add something that gives you a reason to masterwork weapons, but we'll see. And the final point is, when people say, oh, all of my work is ruined, all these weapons I masterwork, it's like, bro, was it really that hard to masterwork your weapons? Like those shards are so easy to get. I don't even farm for those shards, and I've got like hundreds of them. And like masterworking weapons does not take a lot of effort or resources. If you were talking about your armor, I'd be with you. I'd be like, oh yeah, that sucks. Your armor, you put like a lot of time into masterworking that. But your weapons, I mean, it didn't really take you that long. Let's be honest. Let's not be prima donnas about this. You know, it doesn't take a ton of effort to masterwork a weapon. So I think players should probably wait and see before they freak out. I don't think we understand the system well enough yet. I will say this. If I'm going to have to go into my armor and change the mods out more often to match whatever weapon type I'm using, I think that generally is a bad gameplay thing. And I say it the same thing to people who go, oh, bring back ammo synths. It's like, yeah, you know what I want in the middle of gameplay? I want to open up my menu. That'd be like if I was playing a game on PC and in order to use an item on my PC game, I had to like quit to desktop and then go back into the game. You know what I mean? Like it's like not good game design. So I think if there's anything to be upset about, it's to be upset about how often Bungie is expecting us to go into our menus during combat. I feel like you should be going into your menus really only during loading screens, unless there's a special circumstance, like you're setting up for raid encounter or something. I think that is really like the big thing that bothers me, is how often they're expecting me to go. And you know how long it takes to load your armor and then to load your mods and then wait for those to load and then you have to wait for it to apply and all that stuff. I think that could potentially be the worst thing about this. But I don't know. Let's see. Let's wait and see. That's my opinion on this. I think people are flipping out a little too soon.
I think you're right, because Bungie or some of the community managers did say that we don't, which frustrates me that they would only give us one puzzle.
Right. That's
That's my biggest issue. Is they said, oh, don't worry, this will make sense later, and we're like, is it gonna be? This better be, I wouldn't say that this better be worth it, but like, I just worry a lot because not like you're right, Travis. It's not that hard to masterwork a gun. You just push button, done. Oh, it has a gold border now. Whoop-de-doo. Like, the only reason for me personally that I masterwork weapons is to get those orbs of light so that I can then become charged with light, so that I can have protective light, so then I don't die. That's it. That's all I want. That's all I really want. And now I feel like that has been like, I guess, the meta in like Grandmasters and everything else. So maybe that this is them trying to change that. Like I said, we don't have the full picture. We have like a corner piece of a puzzle, and they're like, don't worry, we'll give you the next puzzle piece next week. It's like,
yeah. I think it is a communication problem more than it is like a game design problem. Like, but here's the thing: if this change is annoying at all as a gameplay thing, I will be in your guys' court. Like, I'll be the first guy to be like, you guys know me. I complain about everything. Like, if this is an annoying gameplay mechanic, if it's bad game design, I'm going to be the first guy like storming the gates to be like, this is bad. But I just don't think we know enough yet. And I don't think the existing. I think saying the existing system was a good way to set it up is like. Really? Do you think it was good? Like, come on, it wasn't good.
I think a good, I guess, middle ground solution. I guess annoyed that it's going to be affinity based. So, like, element you have like it has to like everything has to match, like solar to subclass to everything has to match. And for some people, that's not like their play style. Like people don't like that's is Bungie is like saying, hey, you have to play our way. You have to play it this way. Like that's not like not everybody does that. I think a good way to alleviate this problem is instead of making it like a helmet mod, because like we've said, armor mods are already cramped. I mean, on gauntlets we have champion mods, we have this and that and this, like all these mods that are like crowding our helmets. The only thing I can really think of to maybe alleviate that is either A, have it be a 5th mod slot, but then raid stuff. Raids already have that 5th mod slot, so then it's like, I don't know. Another suggestion I've seen people say is make it a ghost mod instead of an armor mod, because let's face it, the only thing we really put on our ghost mod
real talk,
is the XP boost, and once you're 100 or whatever artifact level you need to be, you don't really need the XP boost anymore. Like, I sometimes, when I'm grinding GMs, I sometimes have the Vanguard, like, extra legendary drops, but that's, like, if it's something that I'm, like, wanting, like, oh, I need a better palindrome, or I need a better whatever. Like, I think a ghost mod is a nice middle ground, where it's still a mod, but have it be just all weapons.
That's a great idea. I love that.
Have it be weapons that you have equipped to generate orbs. Doesn't matter if it's exotic, doesn't matter if it's legendary, doesn't matter if it's matching your subclass, not matching your subclass.
Intrinsic. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. Maybe you have to, like, I guess having it be an intrinsic thing if you masterwork your ghost, but then it's kind of the same problem as they had it before, where you're masterworking your weapons just to generate orbs. So I don't know. I feel I'm not.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm just, because we don't have all of the puzzle pieces. I guess because we don't have all of the puzzle pieces, we don't really know what it's gonna be like, and all of the community members saying, "Don't worry, it's gonna be good." Okay.
Yeah, but I can only take their trust so far.
Right.
Could you give us some evidence?
But the thing about the Destiny community is that they take everything at Bungie's word except for when they decide not to, right? So, like, Bungie right now is telling you that the Witch Queen is going to be dope, and I feel like everyone who's a Destiny stan agrees with them. And it's just, I feel like we react to things at the wrong time. And when you do that, you get half-assed attempts. I feel like another
if they do half-assed communication, they do kind of bring it on themselves sometimes. That's true, part of it.
They also do bad implementations, and I'm not saying that any of this is the player's fault. I'm just saying that sometimes you become your own worst enemy. I feel like we reacted to sunsetting at the wrong time, right? They said we're going to sunset weapons, and then they did a really bad implementation, and then before we even gave them a chance to kind of fix that, they reversed their decision, and I feel like that's going to have long-term negative effects because of power creep, and they're eventually going to have to sunset. Like, we've talked about these problems a lot, but I just think that there's a lot of times where the Destiny community probably should just, like, hold their horses. And I know that's an impossible idea in the age of the internet where nobody holds their horses ever, and it's this game of, like, hey, but I would encourage people listening to the show at least to just give them a chance. You're giving them a chance with Witch Queen. You're giving them a chance with Void 3.0. Why wouldn't you give them a chance with changing something that wasn't that good to begin with?
Okay, but here's the thing. You want to go, Cog? Because I'm going to go when I go. So you go first.
Yeah, let me go. I've been waiting. I think the problem here is the when you're not fully transparent and your information is then tied to your next marketing rollout, you're going to get the smoke, because the problem is people don't know the full picture, and that's what they want, right? They want the full picture. So it's like, hey, it's going to be cool, right? That sounds great, but right now the information that you're given is incomplete and it doesn't sound great. And to the point, that Lucy was saying, it says that, here's my point. As of right now, then what is the purpose of masterworking a weapon then? Like, what is the purpose? What are we doing it for? Because if this new mod is going to do this and give orbs, is it just going to say that I killed 672 fallen? That's why I'm masterworking. So again, they may have this most amazing idea for weapons, right? But when you give incomplete information, you put us to speculate and now tear this apart. And the other point I would just say is like we talked about with the helmet mods and stuff, like there's already limited space as it is with the 4 slots. I mean, I'm a person, I use the the ammo finder. There's some really cool ones, like dynamo, and if you punch you get more super energy. You're already now really packing a lot in those helmet slots as it is, right? So is the solution, hey, we're gonna get another slot, you know what I'm saying, per armor? Like I know that's one of your things that you've been talking about as far as trying to gain more stuff. So this is one of those situations where I'm with Trav in the sense that I do feel there's an overreaction. I'm with Trav in that sense. I do think people are going a little too crazy until the information comes out. But I'm with E in the sense that they do this to themselves because you can't give incomplete information. What you think's gonna happen, and I think that the problem they have is they're like, "Yo, they're gonna love this when we tell them." Like, I think they're generally excited. I think they're like, "Yo, we tell them."
They are.
Yeah, they're gonna be so hype when we tell them that they can get the orbs that they want, and you're forgetting it's incomplete because what's gonna happen is this: we're gonna get that Witch Queen trailer. We're going to get those bullet points. We're going to get what the actual goal is, right? And then we can be like, oh, okay, fine, right? But we can't see that now. So again, it's their issue. So that's all I got really. And E, I know you about to go in, but that's my main thing with this thing. It's just got to be better, man. This is when you tie too much stuff to the hype train. This is where now it can get you in trouble. But that's all I got.
Yeah.
E. Uh-oh.
So, no.
Oh, yeah. Yup, it's coming.
So, I mean, for me, it's a magnitude of things. One is, Lucy mentioned it already, Charge with Light mods. This does feel like a shadowed nerf to those, as your very consistent way to get mods is now going to be restricted in some fashion. Right now, you got enhancement cores, you do in-game stuff. Okay, all your weapons are masterworked. You get a group kill, cool. That's just making some orbs. It's a consistent thing. You can rely on it. As Travis was saying, well, hey, let me go into this Lost Sector today. Okay, I logged in today, did a little Lost Sector grind. Let me go tomorrow. Oh, this is completely different types of orbs and shields that... Hold on, let me go into here. Let me switch around the mods. I got to get different weapons to make sure they go with the mods. Okay, now I'm good. And you have to do that every time you go into a Lost Sector. Yeah. So now you're switching the mods a lot more. Also, Ammo Finder. They've already nerfed that once. Because Ammo Finder is now based off of the number of kills you get. People have done testing on this thing. It's not just like, hey, you might see these more often. It's now like, you need X number of kills to actually get a brick. Like, that's a thing that's already been done. Ammo's a unreliable thing to an extent right now, which is somewhat frustrating. You're like, I can go through a Lost Sector and be like, dude, I am swimming in heavy ammo. I can, like, fire my heavy weapon the entire time I go through. And the other time I was like, I have 5 bullets and I can't find one to my name. The unreliable nature and RNG of ammo should not be part of your skill. It should not be of like, hey, I had a really good one. Why? Well, everybody had plenty of heavy ammo. We had a really crappy one. Why? Nobody could find heavy. And God, don't get me started about attrition. That's just annoying. So I was
agree
like,
with those points, D.
Yeah, I know.
But the thing about orbs is they're not necessary to complete the game. Like even if this system is terrible, the change is bad. All you're losing are small orbs that kind of have a very minimal impact on the game to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It's
Super generation is important though. Super generation is important.
You have generating supers. You have
generated over time. It's not like you're going into the encounter with no bullets if you don't have this mod equipped correctly. Of course. You know what I mean? Way more irritating than this are the mods for fighting champions, because those are necessary to complete the encounter, and it requires you to go into your inventory every encounter and kind of figure out which ones you're going to need, and then communicate with other people to figure out which ones they're going to have. I view that as way more annoying and kind of interrupting to gameplay than, oh, I didn't equip the right mod, I guess I'm not going to get orbs. One player isn't going to get orbs.
I do think you're minimizing the importance of protective light and endgame builds. Like those are extremely key. If you're going to do high-end content, you want to, for survivability, protective light is crazy. Then there's a lot of charge with light builds and other builds that people really use, and you're taking up slots. That I mean, I can't minimize the customization of some of these things that they themselves put in these slots for us to use.
Well, it's also the fact that
Yeah,
you take,
I get that orbs are useful, but they're not game breaking.
But it's also you get to the limitation of like you take a system you have right now. Every single weapon can be masterworked. Theoretically, unless they're going to rework armor completely. So if you want to set that aside and we have like 2 new whole mod sockets, that's a different discussion because then we're getting new armor and changes the way you play. If things stay the way they are, right now you have your stat mod, you have your combat mod, and then you have your 2 helmet mods. If they are helmet mods, and say you go into something with 2 different types of shields, that's your helmet mods. You don't have ammo finders, you don't have ashes to assets, you don't have dexterity. If it's dexterity, I'm trying to remember. No, it's targeting, which is even more PvP related.
Targeting.
Yeah.
PvP.
Yeah.
So it's like, depending on if you're... So it's a subtle way for Bungie, who's trying to push us away from abilities, again, but now more in a PvE sake, to try and push us away from, again, you said the charge with light mods, and these things. It's like, I know charge with light is not a required thing. People can do it with, they can do it without. In-game content light master, when they already lean heavily into the artificial difficulty, which I hate that term, but it's the best way I can say it, but things do get really, like, you can die really easily, and protective light is like one thing they have put into the game to mitigate that if you build into it. It is one of the few things that will help with that. What's up?
And then also, let's be honest, you know, a lot of us run like a great special weapon or a great energy weapon. For example, you run in a shotgun. Sometimes I know I run like a shotgun finder and a linear fusion, right? Like sometimes I'll double up on it, right? Yeah. And the last point I want to say that Lucy made is a good point, is the sense that not everybody's running around with all void weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like to generate the orbs. Like so now you're forcing me to not have player choice and play the way I want to play with the exotics and the energy and the type of guns I want to play. Because if I don't have this mod that makes masterwork for only arc weapons, you know what I'm saying? I can't use Gallahorn now. Is the you know what I'm saying? I'm not that I can't, but I can't use exotics that are not masterwork, that don't generate orbs that relate to that element type. And that's
a pretty big assumption, though. Can we
True.
agree?
I mean, that's again, like, that's the stuff we don't know. And that's
if the mod gave us a real supersized orb, wouldn't that make up for any of the kind of deficiency? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So like we're kind of assuming a lot about how it's going to work, and I just
but they literally did say it's going to be tied to an element. That part they gave us, right? Didn't they give us that?
Yeah, but we don't know how big the orb is going to be. If the orb is big enough to make up for the fact that 2 of your weapons aren't generating orbs,
right?
Fair trade, right?
I don't know necessarily, because if I want to use if I'm doing a Nightfall and there's different energy types, right? Who's to say? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, I agree with you, Trav, that we don't know because they didn't complete the sentence, right? We don't know. I give you that. We don't. It's just that what we do know just sounds very restrictive, and they need to complete this picture. Otherwise, people like myself, you know, we're going to speculate and go, "Hey, what's going on here?" I just worry when I hear stuff that restricts build diversity, right, and kind of like forces you into a thing. But again, in your point, they need to tell us the rest. Yeah. They do.
Well, I mean, the other piece is now you have arc, solar, void. You have different archetypes. Kinetic's another one.
Right.
Oh no.
Right. I forgot about that.
It's like, I don't know how many people have forgot or not about that one. You have an entire slot that if you want to use a primary typically weapon, one of those 2 is almost always going to be kinetic. And if you want to make mods for kinetic, that one just now lives there. Then you have 2 other weapons. And unless you're running a specific loadout that matches everything, and they love putting match game on every difficult piece of content, like every piece of content has match game on it. You just made a limitation for somebody to try and solo a piece of content a little, just like that much harder or that much more annoying, because now, depending, and you have arc, solar, void, stasis, and kinetic. You have 5 different ones. You can't fit them all depending on what you're doing on. There is one lost sector that does have all 3 shields. You have a kinetic weapon, and you have 2 shields, and then you have that one. Like, you can't. One of the things I'm trying to get at is the fact that we have a system now, and I'll get to kind of my point in this long-winded discussion, that like you have people that have like, whether they have 30 or 530 things that they're holding on to. Because I've seen 35 things in a vault, and I'm like, I don't even understand how it's that small. Tassie did a thing about that, and I'm like, y'all are insane. There's people like me who have there's people like me who have way too damn much, and I will fully, like, I'm working on cleaning. The armor thing will help, but
clean it.
I get it, but it's like the masterworking is one of those things. Like, that's the enhancement cores are not too hard to get. Part of me worries that they're leaning so hard into helping casuals who are like, oh, I can't really get these masterworks. Like, I can't masterwork the weapons because I don't know where to find cores. Well, I just put this mod in. Now I can make orbs like everybody else. Is this a thing to make it easier for the person who hasn't farmed those materials just to say, well, what are these orbs of light? Well, now just put a mod in here and I can make some orbs at least. So I worry that it's that way as opposed to, I mean, if you have like 100 masterwork weapons, now you're just like, what'd they do? I think a little baby stat bump.
I guess the question for you, E, that I think maybe Travis is alluding to is what, I know we don't know, but let's play a game. Let's guess. What would ease your mind as a trade-off that they could do to make a change like this worth it for you?
Ooh.
I mean,
I know we talked about the bigger orb. I'm sorry, we talked about the bigger orb potential thing, but what else could they do that you'd be like, yeah, all right, you know what? That's good. Yeah, I could deal with this.
I mean, that's the big question. And that's the hard part is like, we got half of the, here's the white paper, but I got page 1 through 6 and I need 7 through 12. I need the other pages of the document just so I have all the information. And to me, like, even Dado said it. I was like, I listened to his because I was curious.
Yeah,
and he goes like, you went 3 for 3. Why did you have to drop this right now? That's probably the other piece that annoys me more is like, they could have the perfect solution they don't want to spoil until everybody logs in on Witch Queen. Then surprise us then. I would almost rather have it there because
they was so excited to tell you about how you going to be able to get orbs with your non-masterwork.
It's like 6 weapons. It's like it's 6 weapons, and you're at that point. I could care less about the 6 exotics.
I saw so many people tweeting about this and commenting about it. Oh, why can't we generate orbs with those exotics?
Oh, no, he's right. Travis right.
No, I'm not saying that. They have gotten a lot of catalysts out there, and if you're like, hey, we did 6 more catalysts, this is done. Like, there's not that many left. Is the point? Like doing this now? There's not that many left that need it. That's kind of the idea. Right. It's like, it's a small fix for that. And as Lucy said, it's masked in some other way. It's like, so I could speculate all day.
Couldn't it be a big fix for the game in general? Like, was this system good? Do people stand by that this was a good system for masterwork weapons? Because I would argue what's wrong with just making not that.
I was like, so there's a like an idea that I
saw.
What
if masterworking weapons increases the stats in some way, like you do with armor? What if it already does that? But what if it did it more? What if it added a mod slot? What if it, you know what I mean? Like there's so many opportunities for them to expand weapons.
You give me extra mods.
No, and that's exactly, one of the things. Right? Some people said like we have technical limitations on weapons, and this is one of the things. Like they have technical limitations on weapons and how many perks can be active on a weapon at a certain time. The way their code is built, stuff will break. And if this is a point where taking this off of the weapon functionality and moving into armor, giving us more flexibility, that could be a good thing. I'm not saying that that's not a bad thing at all. That's a thing. Like, but again, it's like you make what potentially has where we have some cooler weapons and crafting maybe a thing. But on the other side, we do have... They're like, hey, look into builds and stuff like that. But here's like, we're just going to shove more and more into these same slots. And it's like, okay, now it's like, oh, you want to do orbs? Well, these 2 mod slots are going to be taken. Okay, you want to do champions? These 2 mod slots are taken. Oh, do you want to do any artifact mods? Well, only 1 artifact mod will fit in a class item because we make them so big you can't do too much. Like, they already tell you are very limited in what options you do have. So you're like, you see people like Fallout and Cool Guy and other people like, let me make a build. And it's like so niche. Like it takes some of those, like if you don't watch a YouTube channel, it's like, good luck finding that. It's not like, hey, I can experiment freely here. I've got all this energy and mods to work with. It's like here. It's like, okay, you can mess with like these 2 spots is how it feels sometimes. So it is just one of those things when it says like, hey, we're going to take helmet mods now, which you use for certain purposes, and we're going to make you make another decision to limit how much more benefit you have. It's like, it's a functionality that was in the game. Now you're going to be potentially limited on the functionality. Guns may get cool, weapon crafting may be fantastic, and I don't know the rest, but it is just like, it's this weird moment of like, that's what's like, I don't know the answer and I don't know what's going to make it better. But I also know, like, we've had weird systems get launched, like Transmog. That didn't come out well. Weapon crafting, I have my hunches. I don't know how it's going to launch. If weapon crafting doesn't come out well, this is going to be that much worse. That's an issue. So, like,
100%. And I think we should just wait until weapon crafting is out. Like, this isn't a change that's happening right now, right? So I just think, like, Bungie, in my mind, is trying to fix the weapon problem, which is that weapons have never really felt unique or fun to upgrade or anything like that. They have this crafting system coming up. They're clearly changing something about masterwork, and we don't know what that's going to look like yet. And I think that people are kind of relating this problem to the armor problem, which, as you know, E, we've talked about this on the show a million times, that armor isn't really in a good spot to begin with for a whole bunch of reasons. And yes, putting more stuff into it is obviously going to make it worse, but one problem at a time, right? They're trying to fix weapons this season, clearly. They're trying to fix Void. Next season, they're going to fix Arc. You know what I mean? Like, I think armor has to be adjusted in some way. And I think the current system of doing championship mods and the whole way that the mods with the artifact work is terrible. Like, all that stuff I have problems with. But wouldn't it be nice if masterworking weapons felt good? And if I can get confidence,
he ain't got confidence.
But look, I don't have confidence in it either. I think that they'll probably mess this up. It's Bungie, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until I play it. And I just think if you're unhappy
like me, look at Chad sounding like me.
See, this is why we have three people on the show, because somebody's batting on the other side of the batter's box over there.
I just get to hear Travis be the voice of reason. This is awesome. Continue. And he's the one steaming. Right? This is great. I'm sorry. This is an awesome moment.
Hey, I got to pick my moments to be this guy. I don't get them all that often, right? I got to be crazy once in a while. I got to be the crazy one every blue moon. It just doesn't happen often. So now I wanted to actually ask Lucy, after all of our ranting, as we full circle back to you, where, like, what, as Travis did ask, is like, what do you think would make this beneficial? What do you think we don't know that would potentially be worth it?
I mean, I don't know, man, like...
Too much pressure, sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine. I'm just, like, thinking, because, well, yes, I think the current artifact system with having to put champion mods on our armor is dumb.
Picking up a little tension there.
But I also think that putting them, like, on the weapons is also dumb, because then that limits exotics that can't be champion mods. So, like, I guess in a perfect world, it would just be intrinsic for, like, the champion mods, for example, like anti-barrier scout. You unlock that in the artifact, and then anytime you have a scout rifle equipped, congratulations, it's anti-barrier. Doesn't matter if it's exotic, doesn't matter. Then you're not wasting any mod slots. Because, like, right now, there's a lot of builds that I use those like, affinity mods, like the Arc mods, the Void mods, the Stasis mods on your gauntlets.
Yeah.
But if you're running champion endgame content, I can't do that. I have to. That's why I've been really like, oh wow, the artifice armor from Grasp of Avarice. The only thing you need it for is gauntlets. You don't need it for helmets. You don't need it for chest.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't do much.
It doesn't. I mean, maybe class item and maybe gauntlets, but that's really it. That's really it.
There's one, I actually looked, because now that you say that, sorry to interrupt, but, like, I looked, and I was like, why do I have an Artifice helm? What the hell? And I looked, and it's like Ashes to Assets is slightly cheaper. That's it. Like, or something like that. And it's like, there's one mod that, like, is a little cheaper that could go there, but I'm like, most of them, like, go in 2 slots. It's class and arms,
Yeah, so, like, I guess if this is, like, if Bungie could figure out a way to, like, alleviate the mods that we have, like, are, like, required to run to play their game.
Yeah.
Another way I could think that this would be fine is if they completely deprecate ammo finder mods. completely get rid of all of them and just
That'd be
make
great.
it.
That'd be great.
If they got rid of those mods and just not have it be RNG randomness to get weapons, like, oh,
Intrinsically in the weapon.
if it's just when you have a weapon equipped, you're gonna find ammo for it, I think that would be fine. If they got, because the problem is with helmet mods, there's a lot that is crammed in there. So if they got rid of, if they just completely deprecated, got rid of the ammo finder mods on your helmet, then I would be a lot better, because then I could run kinetic, and then I could run whatever my secondary is, like void or arc or so whatever, and then I wouldn't really have to worry about, oh god, I'm running a rocket launcher, I need my rocket launcher ammo finders, because you would just have it equipped and it would just be like, oh, you have rocket launcher ammo equipped, okay, that means ammo, you're gonna find ammo. Like, I really don't like that ammo is RNG. I think that's kind of dumb, and it's not the player's fault. It's like when you're doing Master Vogue and you're at Atheon and you go to DPS and like, I don't have heavy, but my friend is like, oh, I have like 15 bricks on the ground, I can shoot down for days. And I'm like not doing as good DPS because of
share ammo,
something that is completely out of my control. It's just really.
I've always wondered why the armor mod system doesn't exist on weapons. Like, why isn't it when
they're
you level
already
up
technically limited on weapons as it is? I mean, they've said, like, if too many perks are active on a weapon, if we add anything else, it's gonna. They've said it's like something's gonna stop working. So it's like,
but they're always optimizing their system. They're adding a weapon crafting system. Maybe they're gonna offload some of that ammo finder and some of the stuff that's related to specific weapons. Like if you have a scout rifle, it does armor or barrier piercing. That stuff. Maybe those mods will be moving to weapons, or you'll have an option to do it on either, right? You can do it on your armor if you have room there, or you can put it on weapons. I kind of see this big problem with this complete lack of parity when it comes to masterworking armor versus weapons. And I'm hoping, when I first learned about masterworking weapon, when I learned about weapon crafting, my first thought was, oh, they must be fixing it so that masterworking weapon isn't just you get orbs. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that that's where they're going with this. And I think the reason they're not telling us is because they want to keep weapon crafting a secret. And why wouldn't you? If it's something that big and players find out that that's what weapon crafting is, that you now have 10 power on each of your weapons, like, people would lose their minds. So I'm waiting, man. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first guy to write the 6 out of 10 review.
No, bro. You good.
I'm waiting.
Shout out to Civatech, by the way. Bring back ammo sense. And I was like, we already had that moment.
Yeah, and that's why. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it's like, ammo synths are an annoying thing in the menu, but the fact that, like, there are moments when I'm like, I could kill for just an ammo synth for this moment when it's just like crappy RNG. It's like, that's shouldn't happen. It's like the ammo, as we've all said, like, ammo shouldn't be a test of a player's skill. Like random RNG, that type of stuff shouldn't be. It's like, I can get sniped and it's like, I was out of position. If I can't do DPS because I don't have ammo dropping on the ground, or I go into the, in Vault of Glass and need to shoot oracles and I don't have sniper ammo dropping anywhere, it's a different issue. That's all. What were you going to say?
I say the same about orbs, E. If you're nothing without your orbs, then you don't deserve to have them.
Oh my lord, him with the orbs. Jesus.
Oh no.
Yeah, but listen. I'm sorry, listen.
I mean, what's nice about this charged with, I guess, orb generation, because at least with endgame content, orb generation with your weapons was the most consistent way to get charged with light, and using protective light with charged with light is the meta, I guess, or becoming charged with light to then have that like pocket resist in your pocket, basically. So like whenever you're like in the red, that resist kicks in and you can like live a little bit longer, or use this resist to like slide into cover and not die, which in raids that's important, I think, anyways. So I think this change allows people to not be so clutching their masterwork weapons so hard they can experiment with other things. Like literally today, as soon as the TWAB dropped in my raid group Reddit, we already swapped to running elemental wells. Already, bam. I mean, what's really funny is before that we already were like thinking about elemental wells, but then we're like, okay, if there's parts where we're all separated and the people who aren't generating the wells, like if we're like for example, a good example is like the second encounter in Garden of Salvation, where you're basically just doing like a relay race where basically you're by yourself killing ads, and then someone comes and helps you, and then you're by yourself. If basically, I think, well, yes, it is bad that we're losing orb generation on masterwork weapons. A lot of people in PvE only masterwork weapons to get for that orb generation. I hope that masterworking weapons will be more important. Will make you be able to do
Please
something.
tell me
like
why.
maybe you like. That's my biggest problem right now, is they haven't told us, okay, you get to masterwork. Like, what's the point of masterworking something for PvE now? Like, there's no point.
Yeah.
I won't say there's no point, but we don't know
pretty
why.
much.
With the information provided currently.
I mean, yeah, I would say
Yes.
masterworking in PvP without orbs will not make a difference, because a little bit of range, a little bit of stability in PvE, not going to make enough of a difference that it's worth any material. So yeah, they need to prove to us now, why does masterworking valid? Like, how is this going to work when we have 5 different damage types, and then God forbid in Nightfall when we get 6 and we have a green subclass and we have more chaos in like the armor subclasses? Like, I'm hoping this is one of those things. I'm hoping they've thought it through. But we had new lights trip into Dares of Eternity.
Are you implying your lack of confidence?
Sometimes, I mean, big systems are generally looked at. Transmog was a big sell. We're like, this is going to be terrible. I just don't transmog that much because it's annoying. That's all. So it's like, it's just a cool system they were happy about, and I don't do it because I'm like, oh, I go pick up a bounty, fine, go do some stuff. But it's like, it took them a while just to step that one back. So it's like, I don't want weapon crafting to come out and be like, okay, we really wish it would work with this way. Okay, well, in Season 17, we'll give you this one. Season 18, we'll give you this one. Season 19, we'll give you this one. And finally, weapon crafting works well in Lightfall.
That's such a pessimist. Yeah. You sound like Trav now. What's going on?
We're switching roles tonight. We're switching roles tonight.
I've never been a pessimist.
I'm messing with you.
I blame all of this on playing too much Iron Banner. That's what I'm saying. I blame it all on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Until we get more information.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really like with them deprecating ammo finder mods. That's really the only thing I can think of, because they've got to know their helmets are already crowded.
Yeah.
They've got to, like, come on.
Yeah, they got it.
But it's not that dumb, right?
I mean,
right?
They're smart people. It's just sometimes things don't make it into, the content we're hoping it's with. That's why it's like, yeah, I just want to see the TWABs.
Come on, be fair. They did say we have more to talk about.
It's like the weapon crafting. Apparently now the weapon crafting TWAB, whatever week that falls on, is going to be like picking through that thing with a fine tooth comb. I was like, I got to know more about weapon crafting. That's the big thing. It's like, but as she's saying, like, if ammo is, this would be a nice time for them to do a nice little, oh, by the way, remember when, like, hey, those ammo finder mods you worried about? Don't really need them so much anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that would be like, okay, here's a step coming back the other direction. That's the nice things I hope to read on the weapon crafting kind of day type thing. So.
Because like, they said, oh, we're doing this, but they didn't really, I mean, yeah, they said why, like, oh, to give non-masterworked exotics the ability to generate orbs. I'm like, that's cool and all, but like, and you said, oh, this will help with, like, I mean, later they said, like, they talked about how, oh, you guys just don't have the full picture. Well, can you at least give us a hint or something?
Yeah.
Because the fact that they're just like, oh, it'll all make sense. It's like,
kind of don't. Or isn't Ebontis the guy who's like, don't tell us anything before it comes out? Whatever happened to that?
No, okay, so I said it last time. I don't want to know if Zavala or Ikora or Eris die in the first mission, that's story. But if you're going to be like, hey, we're going to change up the way the functionality of your armor and your weapons work,
do it next week.
You don't want weapon crafting to be a surprise to you. You don't want to show up to weapon crafting and then they're like, hey, surprise, Ebontis. You take any weapon out of your vault, you put it into this machine, and it turns it into the Armor 2.0 where you can equip, 10 power worth of mods. You don't want that day to like blow your mind. You want to know all that going in?
System-wise, I would like to know more than we have now.
I think that's the content creator in you speaking and not the fan of Destiny, personally.
Oh, damn.
No, I don't want to know story spoilers. A story is like, we're in this Javathune to understand. Javathune, that's a cute word.
Javathune. I like that.
Javathune. That's the glaive. That's what I'm going to call the glaive, is the Javathune.
I like it.
Good recovery, right? No, like the story with Savathune is very cool. Anything that happens around that, don't tell me anything. That I don't want to know. But if you're like,
give me that sandbox.
But yeah, it's like understanding the way, like at least some idea of how weapon crafting going to be expensive. Are my 18,000 weapon parts, should they be in the trash? Like just some of that stuff. I do want I want the system stuff.
Armor 3.0.
Yeah,
crafting. That's E.
At least some expectations.
Because remember when they told us like, hey, this is not going to go over too well. And then we're like, hey, it didn't go over too well. We have some of those moments and we get this wasn't built well and we're stuck with it now. Like, that's kind of one of those tough ones.
Look, the fact that they had self-awareness, they didn't think it was going to be something that you all jumped out at. Doesn't that make you think that maybe they're doing it for the betterment of the game design and we should wait? Like at least.
Yes, again, we've said we'll wait for the stuff, but that just finally like takes us back to the communication part, and it's just like,
right, which is why you don't tie things to marketing. That's what this is.
Well, no, but that's the other thing. If you're going to say don't spoil anything, why'd you tell me this one?
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Honestly, I think players get more excited about the stuff that isn't story when it comes to Destiny, and I think if you find out that weapon crafting is this crazy thing the day of, because there's like moments, right? Like, what are some examples of stuff they didn't tell us that were gameplay where when it happened, we were like, whoa, like they changed. Was it swords? Did they add swords without telling us? And we found out during the Taken King that was in the game? That's
they always do. I think shout out back for that. They always, it's this history we have with this game where we have this push-pull and we get upset. Yo, what are they doing? Whatever. And I always say they kind of give you the bad news a little bit before the expansion to get you ready. And then soon as that marketing trailer and them that's why, oh my God, this was crazy. It's the cycle. We've been here. We're veterans. We know. You know what I'm saying? But to Trav's point, to E, I think he do gotta relax. He gotta relax a little bit. You get yourself
playing too much Iron Banner.
Yeah, Iron Banner that got him in a state. But I know how he is about armor, sandbox, and gameplay mechanics. And to leave something unfinished with E, it's not gonna sit well. So he's probably like, yo, don't even tell me at all if you're gonna give me the complete picture, because otherwise I'm gonna get frustrated because I don't have confidence in you based on other things you guys implemented.
They could have literally left this part out of the TWAB. Saved a whole lot of like issues on Twitter and everything else, and they could have just done like here's what we're going to tell you about weapon crafting, some secret, like you'll learn more when you get in there. Also, by the way, and then they could tie it in and give you like there will be something in weapon crafting that alleviates this, and just like bam, like just why did it have to come here?
But what if it's amazing? What if, like Travis? What if it's amazing?
Then I wouldn't be going through this at all right now. And it would.
Then you gotta give it an apology. Then
if weapon crafting is amazing,
same energy you going in now. Yep. If it's amazing,
I'll be like, yo,
Bungie, I'm sorry. This was it. I get it. Get it. You must pledge your fealty.
I will shill so hard for Bungie if the crafting is epic. How's that?
Fair enough.
Love it.
All right. We have fun. I hope you have fun. Is there anything else with regards to the information that we got this week, whether it was the trailer or there was the TWAB, whether it's anything you've seen? Like, I think Bungie's doing their tweeting Bungie again thing going on right now. So they're excited again. Something's going on at the studio or promo stuff that they're seeing on the inside. Is there anything else that I feel like I haven't discussed this week that you guys want to talk about? Whether it was, Anything?
No, they were tweeting just real quick. They were tweeting again about they were yelling out for the rafters Bungie again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were.
on?
Really? I missed it. When did this happen?
I
I
saw
missed
a new
During the
hire
show?
set, a new hire set.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
during the
today.
show this happened. I also saw somebody tweet that they now understand why Bungie employees shout Bungie sometimes.
So they hype.
It's the first time it's happened for them.
This ain't our first rodeo, y'all. We did the ups and downs of being a Destiny fan. We know how this goes. And I am curious to see, the next TWAB, what's happening. And then once that hype train rolls, we're in. You know how it goes. And I want some lore. I want to see. I can't wait to see where this thing happens. It's the cycle, man.
First day stream is going to be like, all right, let's see what happens in this story. And we're going to play through it and see what the hell happens. So, well, that is about all I've got as we kind of head to the outro part of the show. I kind of wanted to pass the floor to you, Lucy. If you've got anything that you got, if you're going to be streaming upcoming for Witch Queen, if you're working on any content, if you got any cool, like, what's your big NASA project or any cool stuff, you're just like, fill our brains with what's going on in your world as we wrap the show up.
Ooh, okay. I guess I can do that. So like, I kind of have a funny story. Not really funny story. Well, I used to stream a lot back in college because I was like, oh, I have free time. Okay, I'll just stream. And then it kind of like my schedule and then the pandemic, having to move back in with my parents, kind of was like, oh, streaming can be on hold. Well, I think I'm gonna stream the Witch Queen. I'm gonna start streaming again. So that's exciting. I just need to like sit down and like really think like what's my brand? Like kinda I wouldn't say like take it seriously, but like I think that might have been my problem in the beginning is I was taking it too seriously. When I think the problem is like it's okay just to do things for fun.
Yes.
Not everything has to be super serious. And that's my problem. I go either 0 or 100, no in between. I can't take things sort of seriously. It's either super uber serious or I don't care. It's like one end of the spectrum or this one.
All or nothing?
Pretty much. It's either okay, I'm all in, or I don't care. 0 fucks were given.
And there's 3.
But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what? Everybody there?
You went quiet. Yeah, we're here. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody got quiet.
Sorry.
Okay. Cool.
No, I was just. Yeah, I don't really think I have anything else to say except thank you guys for having me. You guys are super great.
Yeah, you're awesome.
You guys are great.
Shout out to you for coming through. Had a
no
ball. Nah, you're awesome. Salute to you. I love anytime we get a chance to really deep dive with the lore and talk to someone just as passionate about it and getting us some gems and details. It's always exciting. Love what you're doing out here. And yeah, we got to get you back. This was a fun show. You got to see our ridiculousness live. We do. But absolute pleasure to have you for sure.
Yeah.
Trav, what's going on with you, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think last time I was on the show, I told you guys I got my first 3 IGN reviews for the year lined up. I'm reviewing Windjammers 2. My review of that will go up January 20th. And then I'm also reviewing Crossfire X, which comes out on February 10th. And then Destiny 2 The Witch Queen I'm reviewing for IGN. Which that review will go up probably the day after the raid once I've beaten it, presumably. So fun stuff for that. But something actually funny happened this week, which was I spent like the last 7 or 8 days laughing at that post that the Dying Light 2 developers posted where they said the game was going to take 500 hours to complete. I could not stop talking about that. I was laughing about it. I was messaging friends in DMs about it. I was telling people in my life, like, dude, they just got flamed for telling people that this game was going to be 500 hours. Could not stop laughing about it. And then I found out this week, due to a series of unfortunate events, that I will be reviewing Dying Light 2. So
oh no.
I will be playing the 500-hour game and writing the review. And I think karma, if you ever had any doubt that karma exists, it certainly exists, because I'm definitely reaping what I've sowed in this category. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be busy these next couple months with reviews, and obviously I'm very, very excited to review the Witch Queen for IGN. And you can follow me on Twitter at TyGuyTravis if you really, really hate yourself. And you also can you can see me every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific on a show called Bitcast, which you can find on YouTube at Bitcast. And you should follow my friends here. You should talk to Cog. He'll sell you a headset now. I see him doing that on Twitter all day. He's just selling people headsets. So he's a door-to-door salesman now. That's the door-to-door part.
Yeah. Door-to-door for Oculus.
Great.
Would you like to try out our new Quest 2?
Yeah. He shows up with a suit and tie on your door. Hello. Have you heard the good gospel of Oculus?
Oh no.
He's taken after his family. Anyway, yeah, it's great, man. So and then yeah, you should follow E. He's got a great video right now that I tweeted about this week about things to do to prepare for the Witch Queen and how to grind materials. It's fantastic. Everybody should watch that video 3 times and then like it on 4 different alt accounts and then share it on 8chan. I don't know where the kids go these days. Anyway, that's me.
8chan.
I'll be here all week. That's how you go viral. You got to post on 8chan.
8chan. That's the dark webs. The dark webs.
That's the dark web. Oh no. Oh
yeah,
no.
Fun show. Shout out to again, Lady Lucy. Pull it up. Big fun. Great show. Again, shout out to the chat. We had like almost 150 y'all in there. Hit that like button, y'all. This was a real fun show. Really good topics. Yeah, you know me, Lord Cognito on Twitter. Shout out to Travis clouding me for selling Oculuses. People hit me up like, yo, I got one because of you.
My whole timeline is just you selling people Oculuses. I'm so confused.
Oh no.
Hit me up like, bro, because of you, I got one now that you're over there. And salute to everybody. That is what's up. But yeah, man, this was a lot of fun. We're getting closer finally to Witch Queen. I'm excited. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I will be on. So I see DJ, I see Sinister, I see Back for there's some clanmates. I'm gonna jump on after. I got to get in there, man. I got me hyped. Got to do some homework. Got to do some stuff. But also check out Island's podcast this Sunday. We will have Mama Micah on. She will be on to talk from Last Stand Media. We'll get to talk about gaming, everything that's going on. Also shout out to Defining Duke. Me and Maddie been working really hard. We have one up right now, just going on. What's going on with Tencent, and then we got one I can talk about as we just recorded from Drinkbox Studios. Nobody Saves the World. Cool game coming out next week. I believe also launching in the Game Pass. Developer was awesome. We got to talk to him about the structure of indie games and how that is to get for a little studio. They also made Guacamelee. Those guys. So yeah, they're pretty awesome. Yeah, and it was a great discussion. That should be coming out next week. So Maddie, I didn't break any years. We should be fine. But yeah, and that's it. Of course, the last word. We still doing this, having fun. E, congratulations. You're grinding. You're moving. I'm seeing Bungie loving your guides, and he's a big star out here, Trav.
That was last week. It's old news.
It's blowing up.
They call me Hollywood. I don't get Bungie tweeting my stuff.
No. Bungie's tweeting his stuff. He's gonna be like sponsored. It's great, man.
Manscaped, and
I'm just ready for that. I'm ready for that.
You gotta take care of your downstairs.
Exactly. I'm just waiting for the Manscaped bag next, man.
I'm waiting for the cheetah flavored
advanced
GG flavor.
Yes, advanced GG cheetah. Only a matter of time. But even I'm done. Well, that's good with you, E. Besides being a celebrity superstar.
Oh my God, no! Stop. No, just trying to work on a little bit of the backlog. I know Monster Hunter Rise just came out. I'll probably might play that here or there. I really do want to knock out Horizon, just because that's a big one. And the other one I want to do is I want to see if I can get through just Dark Souls 1 before the week of February Hell. So my goal between downtime and just like keeping up with what's going on in this game and keeping content going, depending on the pacing, the way things are going, we might see 70K subs next week. Knock on wood. So that'd be cool. But thank you guys seriously for all the support, all of you guys in chat, this is our biggest show on YouTube. Thank you guys. So spread the word. Tell your friends if you enjoy the show. Yeah, Lucy brought the numbers tonight. Seriously.
She made it happen.
Yeah.
She made it happen.
It was all Lucy. We appreciate it. And honestly, thank you, Lucy, for coming on, for talking lore.
Yeah, no
in
problem.
being the smartest one on the podcast by a large margin.
Oh no.
And seriously, just like and putting up with our 3 ridiculousnesses. So we appreciate your time, Travis. We know it's not going to quite be like Nerf Legends, but we do hope you make it through the Dying Light review.
Yes, please.
See what I did there?
Mm-hmm. I like
and
that.
then Cog, of course, make sure and use promo code Cognito at meta.com for your Quest 2
Y'all
purchases.
gonna make me put a referral link in this chat. Yeah, keep it up.
Oh no.
Link.
Yeah, Lucy killed it, seriously. But as we wrap this show up, as always, chat, you guys have been amazing. Thank you. Follow all of these amazing people. When Lucy does stream, make sure and tune in. Blow up her first stream so it's amazing and she barely knows what to do.
No, don't do that.
Oh yeah, no,
Don't
seriously,
do that.
follow her. Please follow LadyLucida on Twitter. I want her first stream like 50, 60 chats just like scrolling. Come on, we got to make her.
All the rocket
God, that
emote,
sounds
rocket
stressful.
emote all over the place.
Yeah, to the moon, to the moon. There you go. See, it fits
No.
for you though. Come on.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. We will be
my
wrapping this
God.
thing up. January 13th
You
episode.
actually have a referral link?
No,
I
You guys
listen
are
to the people.
Cognito does have a referral link. We will post that on all of his socials. Don't worry, we will copy that one and use it everywhere. So thanks for that.
Use the code sellout to save 20% on your Oculus Quest 2.
Use code got the bag at checkout.
Got the bag.
Oh,
Be like, I am one with the meta. Episode 180 was a blast. Thank you guys for the record numbers, and hopefully we just keep going up. But for now, you guys have been awesome. And for this episode, it has been
The
last word.
Last word. Yay, we did it.
All right. You guys have been amazing. Thank you. We're going to shut this thing down. Have a good one, y'all.
Peace.
And you guys